This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. The Phillies can advance with a win tonight. Reigning NL champs can move on for a second straight year with a victory against 104-win Atlanta. Coverage at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Top seeds have had some trouble with a long layoff in the postseason. Three-time World Series champ David Ortiz thinks it plays a factor.
Who have better offensive team than the Braves? Nobody. I mean, these guys, they lead the league pretty much on every category. And they can get a hit to save their life as of right now. You know what I'm saying? And I blame that on momentum. I blame that on the break.
Ortiz on Carlin versus Joe. Elsewhere, X-rays negative for D-backs catcher Gabriel Moreno. Left yesterday's win with a hand injury. Should be ready for the NLCS. Blue Jays GM Ross Atkins will return to the team. Jays president Mark Shapiro says the team wants improved playoff results after being swept in the wild card round. In the NFL, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce expected to play tonight against the Broncos, listed as questionable with a foot injury.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon. Coming up Friday, I'll tell you why my favorite team's season is over. Sorry, Giants fans. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Fired up for this Thursday. Ryan Clark in hour 3. Mike Triplett then as well. We'll head to the Plains a little more than an hour from right now. Fantasy Blitz coming up later this hour. Let us begin, however, exactly how we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Head toward LSU and Auburn Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. A lot of the conversation, of course, about the LSU offense, which is at a pace bested only by the 2019 Tigers. What we are seeing is otherworldly. And there has been so much conversation, rightfully so, about Jaden Daniels. Russ Mitchell, who has a Heisman vote, was with us on Wednesday and said, as of right now, Jaden Daniels, despite 2 losses, would be on his Heisman ballot. Remember, each Heisman voter gets 3 choices, a first, second, third place. So I would imagine there's a lot of people who probably share that sentiment about Jaden Daniels. There's something happening, though, that we all, my hand in the air as well, are probably not paying enough attention to. And that's the season Malik Nabers is having. I started digging into it a little bit today because Pro Football Focus put out their mid-season college football all-prospect team. So they're looking ahead to the NFL draft, and they basically looked at each position and who had the highest grade among draftable players at those particular positions. And when we talk about Pro Football Focus, I always feel like I have to throw out this caveat. Pro Football Focus is a metric. It's not the metric. It's just something to consider. It is a metric, numbers plugged into an algorithm that spits out a metric, and we all sort of accept or don't accept its credibility or do with it what you will. But Pro Football Focus is something that we talk about often. So Michael Penix, highest rated quarterback. Marshawn Lloyd from USC is the highest rated running back. Brock Bowers, highest rated tight end. And there's some other familiar names like Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Cedric Van Pran from Warren Easton in New Orleans, highest rated center right now in this draft. But the one that I really wanted to point out was receiver, because there are two that they mentioned. And one is Xavier Legette from South Carolina. And the other is Malik Nabers from LSU. I'll read you real quickly what they write about Nabers. Nabers entered the 2023 season as one of the top receivers on PFF's 2024 Big Board, and he has lived up to the hype. His 771 receiving yards ranks second only to Missouri's Luther Burden III, who is looking like wide receiver 1 in 2025's draft class. Nabers' 90.9 receiving grade is the best on the team, and he already has 20 explosive plays of 15 yards or more in just 6 games. By the way, the honorable mention that they list: Troy Franklin from Oregon, Torrey Horton from Colorado State, Jalen Polt from Washington, Roman Dunze from Washington, Trey Harris from Ole Miss, and Brendan Rice from USC. Those are the highest graded receivers, according to Pro Football Focus, among the draftable players for this upcoming draft. Understand, right now, Malik Nabers is the highest graded receiver in college football among draftable prospects. It's a mouthful. And when you start to look at what Nabers has done through 6 games, it's even more impressive. Let me spell this out a little bit for you. And I know when we do numbers here, numbers can be confusing. So I'm not trying to get you to get out a pen and paper, take notes on this. I'm just trying to illustrate the point of just how elite Malik Nabers is through 6 games. The single greatest receiving season in LSU history was Jamar Chase in 2019. He had 1,780 yards. Won the Blitnikoff, as we all remember. The second best receiving season in LSU history was Josh Reed in 2001, 1,740 yards. Also won the Blitnikoff in 2001. Now, it's worth noting with both Chase and Reed, there's a big disparity there. Because Josh Reed, while LSU went 10-3 that year, played in 13 games, bowl stats did not count. So the darn near 200 receiving yards Josh Reed had against Illinois in the bowl game didn't count for his total. So the 1,740 was in 12 games. Jamar Chase, as amazing as he was, that 1,780 was in 15 games. So when you look at a yards per game average, Josh Reed's yards per game average was almost 30 yards higher than Jamar Chase. Wrap your head around that. Josh Reed's yards per game average was almost 30 yards per game higher than Jamar Chase. So Josh Reed's 2021 was a better season than Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had more games. That's the plainest way to say it. After Chase Reed, though, in total, Chase Reed, Justin Jefferson in 2019, Wendell Davis in 1986, Jarvis Landry in 2013, and Odell in 2013. That's your list of your top 6 seasons, receiving seasons in NFL history. Here's the numbers through 6 games. I'm going to go in order, okay? Keep in mind, Malik Nabers right now, again, you don't need to memorize these numbers, but it's going to be very, very clear what I'm describing here. Malik Nabers is at 771 yards through 6 games, okay? 771 through 6 games. Jamar Chase, 626. Malik Nabers is 150 yards ahead of the pace that Jamar Chase set back in 2019. Josh Reed through 6 games was at 813. He was already over 800 yards. So remember, Josh Reed's 50 yards ahead of where Malik Nabers is right now. Justin Jefferson in 2019, at this point of the season, was at 670 yards. So again, Nabers is 100 yards ahead of the pace that Jefferson set. Jarvis Landry in 2013 was at 616. So Nabers 160 yards ahead of Jarvis's pace. And Odell was at 686 through 6 games back in 2013 as well. That was the Mettenberger, Jarvis, y'all remember. So he's about 90 yards. Malik is about 90 yards ahead of OBJ's pace. All that to say, I get it. A lot of numbers. All that to say that through half a season, Malik Nabers is dusting Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Wendell Davis, Jarvis Landry, and Odell Beckham. Dusting them through 6 games. Now, you got 6 more games to go, right? You got to duplicate in the second half, which you did in the first half. But at this point in the season, the only receiver in LSU history that's had a better 6-game stretch to start a season is Josh Reed, who won the Biletnikoff in 2001. And Malik Nabers, with the way this offense is churning, looks like he ain't slowing down. Now, I don't think Malik is going to catch Jamar Chase's season record of 1780 because he's not going to play in 15 games. He would have to essentially pass Josh Reed's yards per game average, which, if he does that, incredible. I would love to see it. I don't know that we will. But you're going to have an opportunity to see Malik Nabers over the second half of this season. If LSU ends up playing in, if they end up beating Bama, get back to Atlanta, 13 and then 14 games, he will have a real shot of pushing Jamar Chase's single-season record if he can get to that 14th game. Now, if you only play 13, you're not going to touch it. But realistically, we're looking at a year where Malik Nabers, in his yards per game average, is going to be second only, very likely, to Josh Reed in LSU football history, which is incredible. And if LSU continues winning games, then yes, there's a very, very real possibility that we see Malik Nabers on the Biletnikoff finalist list and there at the Biletnikoff Award, at the College Football Award ceremony, and potentially hearing his name called as LSU's 3rd Biletnikoff Award winner. He's got a match in the second half what he did in the first half, but he's pacing right now better than Jamar did and just off of Josh Reed's pace back in 2001. We've talked so much about Jaden Daniels, and justifiably so. We have not spent enough time talking about just how incredible it is what Malik Nabers is doing through the first 6 games of this season. All right, we'll get to see Malik Nabers on Saturday against Auburn in Tiger Stadium. Only the 3rd home game of the season for LSU. It's kind of incredible. You're halfway through the season. You've only had 2 games in Tiger Stadium. So make that thing rock on Saturday night. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light do an awesome job. Remember, today's the last day to enter. Tomorrow we are announcing the winner for our AFR watch party. 1 week from today, AFR will be at Mockler Beverage. As soon as the show's over, our winner, their 15 guests, will join us. We will have catered food, open bar. We'll watch Saints-Jags on Thursday Night Football. Our friends at Mockler are going to handle your transportation as well, so you don't have to worry about transportation. We'll make sure that everybody's safe. If you're going to be, of course, we'll all be consuming adult beverages. So we'll look forward to it. Remember, if you want to enter, if you've already entered, you can only enter once. Each name only goes into the drawing one time, so you can only enter once. So don't bother if you've already entered. But if you haven't done so yet, you want to enter, text the hashtag AFR Watch Party and text hashtag AFR Watch Party, AFR Watch Party, to 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Let's get you an updated Saints injury report. Dennis Allen met with reporters. We'll get you an update on how the Saints are looking before they hit the road for Houston this weekend to take on the Texans, see if they can make it 2 in a row. Glad you're aboard with us here on on a Thursday edition. We ain't going backwards, because no, it's Thursday. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. My buddy Ron Richmond with us over at Hudco sent me a text a bit ago. He went over to Clegg's, got to meet my guy Butch Drews over at Clegg's. Butch is an awesome guy, I tell you, man. Whichever of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations you get into, go say hello to any of the friendly folks in a blue Clegg shirt. The horticulturists there are awesome. They'll take great care of you. They've taken great care of our family for so many years as we're loyal Clegg's customers. Whenever it comes seasonal and it's time to plant those summer plants out in our patio pots and our gardens, we got it at Clegg's. Of course, about this time of year, we always go get our fall bedding plants. When we get closer to Christmas and the holiday season, we got all of our all those seasonal flowers as well ready to go. So whatever season, Clegg's has got you covered to beautify the exterior of your home and your yard. They're partnered with True Value Hardware stores, so if you're checking off those honeydews, bypass the big box stores and support a great local company that's been in our community for more than 60 years. Buy local, shop local. Be sure to tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
is a taco more than just a taco when it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
The first ever Baton Rouge Kids on the Catwalk Dreams Come True fashion show is coming up October 26th at the Country Club of Louisiana. Dream Kids will be walking the catwalk with local dignitaries as their escorts, including Flynn Foster and Richard Condon.
Hey, let's go.
Admission includes dinner and an open bar. There will also be live and silent auctions featuring celebrity auctioneer T-Bob Hebert.
Let's go.
Purchase your tickets or tables online at DCTofLA.com.
When is it?
October 26th. So it's fast approaching, man. That's next Wednesday. Or next Thursday, excuse me.
No. Next Thursday is the 19th.
Yeah.
Come on. Two weeks from today.
What day is it?
Today is the Thursday the 12th. It's 2 weeks from today. Dreams Come True of Louisiana, y'all, is an awesome organization. For those that aren't familiar, we here at Guarantee Media, we've been partnered with Dreams Come True of Louisiana for many years. If you're not familiar, they're an organization that grants dreams for children with terminal or life-threatening illnesses, and it's 100% local. And when you talk about an organization where the percentage of the dollar donated that goes to the families, it's as high as you'll ever find in a charitable organization, a 501c3, so in a nonprofit. Ms. Becky Prejean does an incredible job. We've been so thrilled to partner with them for many years, and every year around our Radiothon, which we've changed format of over the year from just as media's changed, right? From a traditional Radiothon where you'd call in to something we do with online giving. that we normally do in January around the new year. But anyway, so that's 2 weeks from today. If you said it's at CCL?
Correct. Yeah, Country Club Louisiana.
DCTofLA.com is the website, DCTofLA.com. If you get out, man, or if you could ever donate to Dreams Come True Louisiana, it's just an awesome organization. It matters so much. We get to hear these stories of the dream children who come through and tell about getting to do whatever they want. If it's a trip to Disney, if it's a sports dream to meet a sports hero or whatever it may be, it's always humbling. So if you can support Dreams Come True Louisiana, that'd be great. Again, that event's at the Country Club of Louisiana 2 weeks from today. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Muse, do me a favor, just keep refreshing Twitter. We should get the Saints injury report any minute. I don't see it. I don't see it published yet. It looks like the latest one is from yesterday. It looks like the latest one up, but it literally should be any minute. We should get the updated injury report. Remember on Wednesday, the new additions to the injury report for the Saints were Cam Jordan and Chris Olave. So clearly interested in how that's going to look for today's injury report. Most importantly, it's going to be if players are practicing on Friday. If you're not practicing by Friday, generally that's a big red flag. It's worth noting both Jordan and Olave on Wednesday participated. They were just limited. Cam Jordan was listed with a back injury, Olave with a toe injury. So we'll keep you posted. Those that did not practice a day ago were Juwan Johnson, Lonnie Johnson, Adam Prentice, JT Gray, and Landon Young. So we'll get you the update just as soon as we have it. When Dennis Allen met with reporters, so much of that conversation was about C.J. Stroud. And when we've talked this week about Saints-Texans, so much of our conversation has been about C.J. Stroud. Because C.J. Stroud, to this point in his rookie season, has been nothing short of incredible. In a year where it was a heavy draft class with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson, and we saw so many rookie quarterbacks come into the league that were high draft picks that are expected to start early. Stroud has been the one that, to this point in the season, has been the most effective. The Texans are 2-3 on the season. Stroud has 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's thrown for 1,461 yards. The Texans are 3rd in the NFL right now in passing offense. Let me say that again. The Houston Texans, with a rookie quarterback whose lead receiver is Nico Collins, are 3rd in the NFL in passing offense. That is a huge yo for the New Orleans Saints going on the road. And Dennis Allen, when he was on his conference call, talked about C.J. Stroud playing at this level in his rookie season.
I think he's playing at a very high level. I told, the team today that, I think the quarterback's playing at a high level, and I'm not talking about a high level for a rookie. I'm talking about a high level for an NFL quarterback. I think he's done a really good job of going through his progressions. I think he knows where to go with the football. He gets the ball out generally in rhythm and timing, does have the ability to improvise and make some plays on the move. I just think he's really operating their offense at a really high level.
The other thing that C.J. Stroud does really well, clearly, is it's his ability to run the football and to change a game with his feet. That's something the Saints haven't seen yet. For example, Ryan Tannehill in the opener ran the ball 3 times for 5 yards. Bryce Young is a guy who we know is an athletic quarterback who can hurt you with his feet. But in that game against the Saints, Bryce Young had 2 carries for 34 yards. He busted off the 26-yarder, but that was about it that he got on the ground was the one long run. So the Saints haven't really seen a quarterback yet that can hurt you the way that C.J. Stroud can. Here was Dennis Allen on Stroud's mobility.
I think that's one of the things that he's done a few times is be able to kind of extend the play a little bit and be able to find some explosive plays down the field. He did that a little bit in a 2-minute drive last week against Atlanta and created an explosive play down the field. So, I think his mobility is definitely a factor.
Jordan Love had a 24-yarder. Was actually the leading rusher for Green Bay in that game, 9 times for 34 yards, but 24 was the long. So really what we've seen is, like we saw with Bryce Young, with Jordan Love, was like the one time that they kind of scooted free and got loose. You can prevent that. You can really limit C.J. Stroud's ability to hurt you with his feet. And obviously the Saints this week are getting Marcus May back. We talked about it earlier in the week whenever the Saints hit the practice field on Tuesday, the importance of getting Marcus May back, mostly because you were able to spend the last 3 weeks getting other guys reps. And Jordan Howden started 2 of those 3 games. Of course, he missed 1 game with the finger surgery. But as Dennis Allen said, look, I mean, getting Marcus May back is huge for this defense.
I think that'll be a good addition for us. I do think the guys that have stepped in and played in his absence have done a good job. And yet, I think Marcus can be a difference maker type of player for us. So we're excited about having him back out there.
Yeah, May just played in the first 2 games, played against Tennessee, Carolina. Then the 3-game suspension came down. But in those 2 games, 13 tackles. He had a sack in the game against Carolina. So that's a guy that missed a chunk of the year a season ago because of injury, and now he's missed 3 games this year due to suspension. I don't know what Marcus May's long-term prospects are going to be with the New Orleans Saints. I mean, they can off-ramp out of the contract. We all know that. But, man, it's something we've seen before. But, sorry, I need to send an email real quick. Oh, man. We just got to. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We just got a company-wide email about available tickets for this weekend. Wait, presuming his daily initial. Oh my God, Vicky sent out an email. I'm so sorry. Like I was trying to get these tickets, but I just realized it's like she's asking trivia questions.
I see that now. Yes.
I'm like, God, dog, and I was just gonna put like yes, please, because like usually the first one to respond to the company email gets the tickets. You know what? I'm just gonna send it. Sorry, Vicky. I'm on
yes,
air. I just put yes. I'm like, sorry, Vicky, I'm on air. Can I have the tickets? Anyway. All right, it's after further review. What was I saying, Muse? Something about Marcus May.
C.J. Stroud, Marcus May,
I'm sure. You know what, Muse? Whatever I was saying, super insightful. It's what it was. It was super insightful. Y'all know it was really insightful. But Stroud, good runner. Saints help because they get Marcus May back.
That covers it. Yeah,
Got
sure.
It. Need.
Who dat?
Need it. Who dat? Yes. Go Saints. Go Saints. All right, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. If you're driving to New Orleans this weekend, make sure you bring your car to Shaw Bills before you go. Get those tires rotated. Get that oil changed. Maybe you need new tires. Why would you buy them anywhere else? Don't go to the box stores. Don't go to the membership clubs. Don't go to other tire stores. Buying tires. Nobody wants to buy tires. I mean, it's like sticker shock every time you got to buy tires. You get it. You're never just buying one. You usually got to buy 4 or 2, the front or the back, whatever. So, go where you're going to get the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. That's Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. They guarantee it. If you buy tires at Shaw Bills and then you find those same tires advertised cheaper somewhere else, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. You'd basically make money if you find them advertised cheaper. There's just no reason to go anywhere else. And, of course, since 1968, Shaw Bills treats you like family. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shop Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we're going to go around the SEC. Darin Tietgen will be with us for our Fantasy Blitz later this hour, so you can make sure that you line up your I'm waiting to see if Vicky replies to me. So Vicky is our executive assistant, and so she sent out the email. I need to go to break so I can try to answer this trivia question. Hey, Muse, Google this. Presuming his daily intake remains constant, how many pounds of food does Mike the Tiger eat a year?
You always tell me I can't Google trivia questions.
I'm asking you to do it now to give me the answers.
Oh, okay.
2023 marked how many years for LSU's live mascot program? I feel like Vicky probably just got this right off the LSU website, the Mike the Tiger website.
Probably. That's actually where I was going to go and not Google.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's after further review. I'll see if I can get these tickets. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Or 1hourbr.com. You look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town. You see so many of your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air because they get the job done right the first time. They're friendly, they're personable, they're thorough. When River City's 1 Hour Air, whenever I need service, just like I did a few weeks ago, I told you all the story. It was a Wednesday night about 11 o'clock. The AC in our bedroom had gone out. So I called River City's 1 Hour Air, talked to a living, breathing human at 11 p.m., they had me on the list. I got a call at like 5:45 a.m. saying, hey, we have a technician that can be at your house at 8 a.m. Done. They were there, got us back up and running. I'm telling you, Bobby took care of us that day. If you ever call River City's 1 Hour Air, you're going to be thrilled. But right now is the time. Pre-season heater safety check. Mention the Moscona special. They'll save you $30. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Running Boards marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Well, Muse, we didn't get the tickets.
It was a good effort, though.
It was a terrible effort is what it was.
Okay, that's
It was a
fair.
sloppy, unrefined effort
Yeah.
is what it was. And damn you, Cade Blossan!
Cade got the tickets?
Well, Cade, apparently there was like 4 pair
Yeah.
or something like that.
That's
Anyway,
a lot of tickets.
It was Cade. Who else was it, Paulie? Cade, Nick, Jay, and Cameron.
All right.
Were the 4 that won the ticket. So congrats to all them. Hope you enjoy the game, you jerks. How unfair was that?
Yeah, send it while we were on air.
Yeah, let's send the trivia question right in the middle of while AFR is right in the middle of a segment.
Yeah.
And
eliminate all 3 of them from getting tickets.
Yeah, no shot at all, jerks. Ha ha, that'll show you. And you know what else we're going to do? We're going to have the Christmas party during your show as well, like we've done for the last
Every
decade.
year. And the crawfish boil.
At least we work at a company that has a Christmas party, crawfish boil, and gives out tickets.
That's true.
All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us. Hey, by the way, shout out to Arch Manning. This is a story we talked about back when it happened. But Arch did. We always say like we'll update a story as it develops. So Arch, you might remember, did his deal with Panini, and for his first ever trading card, it was a 1-of-1, and they auctioned it off, and it went for over $100,000. Well, Arch did in fact donate $103,000 from his NIL trading card auction to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Texas. So a really cool thing for Arch Manning to do. Let's see. He's announcing where the proceeds will be going. Let's see. The card received 36 bids, made the announcement of the check presentation earlier this week. So really cool thing for Arch Manning to do. I mean, I would imagine, and I was never in a position as a young person to have that type of money dumped in my lap. And obviously it comes from a family that's well-to-do. So I'm not, but even still, to have the opportunity to generate $100,000 in an NIL deal and to just give it away is still very admirable. By the way, this is how it sounded. This was the presentation at the Ronald McDonald Charities.
To tell us about the nonprofit he selected for today's ceremony.
Thank you, Mr. Berger, and thank you all for having me. When I first partnered with Panini to auction off my trading card, I wanted the money to go to a good cause. Helping children live healthy and fulfilling lives was important to me and my family. With that being said, I am donating 100% of the proceeds from my trading card to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Texas. Thank you all.
Good for him. Good for you, kid. I know Arch takes a lot of flack from a lot of people unnecessarily. I mean, he's a young guy who never asked for a ton of attention and quite honestly handled his entire recruitment, popularity, celebrity, all that the way that most people want it to be done, where he didn't take a bajillion visits and do a bunch of interviews and do a thing with hats on the table and all that stuff. He's just been very understated, gone about his business, and took advantage of something here to do something great for a great organization. So salute to Arch Manning. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll go around the SEC. Our Fantasy Blitz is coming up as well. I love telling you about Pure Restoration. Remember, Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration, and it's the same great patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. They'll kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. When we talk about odors, think about pet odor, cigarette odor, maybe a gym or a locker room, spills, industrial kitchens, urine, things like that. Pure Restoration, this patented non-toxic dry fog, can knock that out. And not only that, it's more efficient and more cost-effective. Pure Restoration can come in and dry fog a building and be done in sometimes less than a full day. Some other traditional remediation companies could take 1 to 3 weeks, and it's going to be more cost-effective. This is one of the crazy stories that Jim Woodworth told me. There was a widow who had mold in her home, and he actually has before and after pictures of this, which he's shown. She got a quote from a traditional remediation company. It was going to cost $28,000 to kill the mold and cut the sheetrock and all that sort of stuff. Mold Zero was able to eliminate it completely, look brand new, for under $5,000. I mean, it's going to be more efficient, more cost-effective. Jim Woodworth is an amazing guy who's been part of disaster recovery for years, from Ground Zero 9/11 in New York City and the BP oil spill several years ago here in the Gulf Coast, and now through Pure Restoration, helping you in your home, businesses, restaurants, schools, hospitals, city halls, police departments, gyms. Doesn't really matter. You want to kill mold and remove odor and other harmful pathogens, Pure Restoration can help. Remember, Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Same company, new name, pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Kentucky Wildcats.
Of course, Mark Stoops got in some hot water earlier this week on his weekly call-in show when he made some comments about Georgia buying players. Stoops assured his fan base that that was not the case. Quote, I love our fans, whether they give 1 cent, $1, or a lot of money, it doesn't matter. I love our fan base. I think we have a great relationship with myself and the fan base. We need them here this week. We've got to get back on track. We've got to have great people. We need an environment rocking. Simply, I was trying to rally people. So, Mark Stoops, bit of a mea culpa after his comments earlier this week.
the Florida Gators.
Florida looks like it's going to get a few key offensive playmakers back from injury against South Carolina. Trevor Etienne and Austin Barber expected to be active. Also, neither player played last week against Vanderbilt, as Florida still won 38-14 because, Vanderbilt. But Etienne was dealing with, and everyone says Etienne. That's the other thing, too. I've always said Etienne. I mean, I remember, who was it? Clifford Etienne, who was, the boxer that fought Mike Tyson and then, was an attempted murderer. But the last name I've always said Etienne. Maybe it is Etienne. I don't know. Anyway, Montrell Johnson filled in for him with Etienne out, but he'll be back this week.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Josh Heupel optimistic that DB Danico Slaughter and wide receiver Dante Thornton will be available this week against Texas A&M. Slaughter's had injuries for much of the season. The senior started the first 2 games of the year, then missed the games against Florida, and UTSA was limited against Tennessee and South Carolina. Or limited against South Carolina for the Vols. Thornton came off the bench for Tennessee's first 4 games of the season and missed the South Carolina game. Oregon transfer 7 catches for 89 yards.
The Auburn Tigers.
And 4-star athlete Jalewis Solomon has decommitted from Auburn. Said he made the decision too early. He's a pretty dynamic playmaker. Committed to Auburn back in August over South Carolina and Florida State. It's pretty hotly contested recruitment back over the summer. 6 foot, 185-pounder, the number 272 overall prospect, the number 10 overall athlete in the 2024 cycle. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them, gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you always get with Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, Lafayette, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, the ULL Raging Cajuns, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco, the new hockey team coming to Baton Rouge, starting to play later this month. It's Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review. We'll do our Fantasy Blitz when we come back. Our buddy Darin Tietgen will be here. So get your fantasy football questions in before you set your roster. You can email us. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump
Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Hey, X World.
You can jump in the Body Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Fantasy Blitz to wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Hard to believe, but in 30 years, Gordon McKernan and his team have helped more than 75,000 Louisiana residents. They've collected over $2 billion, $2 billion with a B, $2 billion for their clients. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Don't go it alone. You need representation. Do what literally tens of thousands of Louisiana residents have done in 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, Gordon doing great stuff with the G team. Smoke Harris, newest NIL deal as well. Up there in Monroe, you can see the billboards all over the place. That's a tech wide receiver up there in North Louisiana. Gordon doing great stuff with his G team. You can check out all the content on social media at Get Gordon. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment.
I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whodostart.net.
Who the hell are you?
whodostart.net.
King of the Who?
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the bitten?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz. Powered by whodostart.net.
All right, let's do it. Wrapping up hour number 1. Week 6 in the NFL. Before you set your fantasy football roster, check with our guys at whodostart.net, who2start.net. Darin Tietgen with us now as he is every Thursday during the NFL season. Darin, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks a lot.
Man, it's our pleasure. Let's get started with Thursday night football. The Chiefs on the field are always going to be interesting, and that'll be a draw. The Broncos maybe not so much. What are we looking for tonight?
Well, good news for Travis Kelce owners. It looks like Taylor Swift is at the game, so that must mean he's playing.
Oh, wait, is that confirmed?
Not confirmed. It's just conjecture at this point.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea with Swifties, Darin. You better not play with their hearts, bro. Like, I mean, if he's going to play, if she's going to be there, you know, I mean, like, there were tears in Minnesota last week because she didn't show up. So, and again, I don't know that we're huge in Kansas City. So, but anyway, go ahead, on with it. Sorry.
Yeah, so obviously Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Mahomes is going to be a lot better with Kelce. You know, if you need a spot starter, Russ Wilson could, put up some pretty good numbers just because they're going to have to throw to keep up with Mahomes and company.
Sleepers for this weekend.
Yeah, sure. We got a quarterback. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually recommending Baker Mayfield. Could be a shootout against the Lions. The Bucs have kind of an unstable run game, so we like Baker Mayfield this week coming off a bye. Antonio Gibson, a solid PPR play. He had 6 targets last week. So in PPR formats, we like him against Atlanta. And then finally, at wide receiver, Josh Downs, a rookie receiver for the Colts, seems to have a good rapport with Gardner Minshew. And now that Minshew is the starter for the Colts, I expect a little bit more passing. And he also has a good matchup. So there you go.
Darin Tietgen with us again. Who2start.net, who2start.net. Get your questions in. We'll get you your personalized fantasy football advice before you set your roster. Check with our guys at who2start.net. All right, let's get it started. Nathan up first says, Darin, who to start? Oh, actually says, what's the long-term outlook on Tajay Spears? Was last week an anomaly. What do you think?
No, I think just to keep Derrick Henry fresh, they're going to mix in that the rookie. Spears has some nice pass catching ability, so looks like he'll probably have a role going forward.
All right, here's one from Rusty, PPR League. He's got D-Hop, Jerome Ford, or DJ Moore. Needs two of those three. So I guess, Darin, this is a who to sit of those three.
Yeah, I'm probably going to sit Ford. That's a rough matchup against the Niners. We see what happened to Tony Pollard last week, and also Deshaun Watson may not play for the Browns. So looks like Ford is probably going to be your sit there.
Next one up from Jason Simon. Hey, Darin, who to start, D-Hop or Jacoby Myers?
I think you're going to go with Hopkins there. Myers just a little bit too inconsistent. And sounds like Devontae Adams will probably give it a go. So Myers will be the number two option. D-Hop a little bit more targets. I think I would go Hopkins there.
Darin, one thing I forgot to ask about, we'll get back to questions here in a quick second. So you can always text, remember, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, both on bye. I got to start remembering about the byes. So what players, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, might people be looking to replace production with those two teams on the bye, and what options might they have?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we went through our sleepers. Jordan Love had his worst game of the season this past weekend, or this past Monday actually, against the Raiders. But obviously you were probably starting Jordan Love as a low end one QB1. So like I said, Baker Mayfield looks like he could be a solid replacement. Maybe Russ Wilson if you have time to get him into your lineups before tonight's game. And then for Pittsburgh, really, who are you trying to replace is George Pickens. But the talent pool in terms of fantasy, a little bit deeper at wide receiver, so you should be able to find something on the waiver wire.
All right, we'll get back to some questions here. Cameron Cook says, Darin, who to sit? Non-PPR. He's got Hollywood Brown, Brandon Ayuk, or Jahmyr Gibbs.
I think in a non-PPR format where you're not getting the point per reception there, I think Gibbs is probably the sit. He's losing a lot of looks to David Montgomery anyways. So like I said, in a non-PPR format, I'm sitting Gibbs there.
Tony says, he says he's got a fantasy question. He said, Darin, is it time to bench Najee Harris?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jalen Warren is out producing him, starting to kind of out-snap him as well. So we'll see what happens when they return from their bye. But for right now, I think you could safely bench Najee Harris until things take a little bit of a turn.
He is Darin Tietgen, who2start.net. Again, that's the numeral 2, who2start.net. Week 6 of the NFL gets kicked off tonight with a little Thursday Night Football. Darin, are you going to get to see Taylor Swift in concert?
I think I'll put that one out.
All right. Darin, we appreciate it as always, man. Enjoy the football this weekend. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Be well. Again, who2start.net. It's the numeral 2, who2start.net. Get your personalized fantasy football advice. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. Call Dr. Blake Williamson. Set up that free consultation. I cannot stress this enough to you that if you've ever thought about refractive surgery, the Williamson Eye Center, they're just the best. They literally have people come not only from all over the state of Louisiana, so even if you're listening to us outside of Baton Rouge, I mean, there's 6 Williamson Eye Center locations all over the southern part of our state, but people come from Texas and Mississippi and all over because Dr. Blake Williamson is the best. I mean, if you go look at any of the social media, you'll see how he goes in lectures all over the world at these ophthalmology conferences because he's so far on the cutting edge of what's out there. Of course, if it's LASIK like I had, like Paulie had, maybe it's the Evo ICL, the implantable contact lens. It's an alternative to LASIK. Just find out your options. It's so incredibly affordable with the advances in ophthalmology, and you will be thrilled if you have the option to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses like I did 5 years ago. Best decision, best money you can spend. the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're going to head to Auburn in 20 minutes. So we'll head to the Plains, and we will we'll get you caught up on what's going on with Auburn and preparations there for the Auburn Tigers as they're heading to Baton Rouge. And then in hour 3, Ryan Clark will be with us in his usual spot. What advancements, what progress might we be able to see? By the way, today is also RC's birthday. So maybe we could sing happy birthday? Or we could play happy birthday or something like that? So, okay, no worries. Just radio. We don't need to say anything.
Why not both?
I'm down with it. So we're going to play it and sing it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. Be a good day for RC. Mike Triplett in hour 3. So we got a ton to do. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. It's a Thursday edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You know where to find them online, Michelli.com. I always encourage you to start with the website because the website is a great resource. And people in the dozens of industries that they serve have known for years that Michelli is our country's leading distributor of scales. If you need scales or scales service or equipment, Michelli is the best. That's what they do and have done for decades, better than anyone. But at Michelli, there's so much more. If you need your precision measurement devices calibrated, Michelli can do it. ISO 17025 accreditation is available there as well. The number of industries that they serve, the amount of services that they offer, really, I hear often when I talk to Joel over at Michelli, we'll have clients all the time say, I didn't realize you do that. Check them out. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Sea to shining sea. And online at Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A principal at an elementary school removed from her position this week. The timing appears to be no coincidence, happening around the time that the DeFrock School in Baton Rouge was cited for a number of deficiencies by the Department of Education. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on
This is SportsCenter. I'm Nick DeLuca. Phillies 1 win away from the NLCS. The defending National League champs can bounce the Braves from the playoffs again with a Game 4 win. Coverage at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Atlanta hoping to avoid the same fate as the Dodgers, 100-plus wins in each of the last 2 seasons. Knocked out before the NLCS after their latest setback in Arizona. Star outfielder Mookie Betts doesn't think he did enough.
I just did not execute anything, and got to tip your cap to them. They pitched the ball really great. So we didn't score very many runs, but again, I didn't do anything to help the team.
Meanwhile, X-rays negative for D-backs catcher Gabriel Moreno left yesterday's series-clinching win with a hand injury. Should be ready for the NLCS. In the NFL, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce expected to play tonight against the Broncos, listed as questionable with a foot injury, while Titans receiver Treylon Burks has been ruled out for a 3rd straight week with a knee injury. Tennessee takes on the Ravens in London in Week 6.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon. Coming up Friday, I'll tell you why my favorite team's season is over. Sorry, Giants fans. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll head to Auburn in 15 minutes. Ryan Clark, 1 hour from right now. Glad you're hanging out. Mike Triplett will be here in hour 3, as he is every single Thursday. We'll talk Saints-Texans, get the absolute latest. The injury report is out for Saints-Texans. We can run through it here. And pretty good news for the New Orleans Saints as well. Chris Olave, who was limited on Wednesday, back to a full participant on Thursday, as was James Hurst. So Olave and Hurst upgraded from limited to full. There were still 5 players that did not practice at all, the same 5. Juwan Johnson, Lonnie Johnson, Adam Prentice, J.T. Gray, Landon Young. Those 5 did not practice Wednesday. No change on Thursday. Cam Jordan, limited Wednesday, limited Thursday. But I think we all know Cam Jordan is going to play in this game. Cam Jordan in his entire career has missed 2 games. One because of COVID, and the other because of a fractured orbital bone. And he wanted to play and ended up playing the next week. So I would be stunned if Cam Jordan wasn't out there. Limited the past couple of days, but get him ready to roll and be ready to roll Sunday in Houston. Derek Carr continues to be listed, on the injury report, but a full participant. And then Andres Pete again with the concussion, full on Wednesday and a full participant on Thursday. So of note, the significant change, Chris Olave upgraded from limited to full. As for the Houston Texans, they are still dealing with a lengthy injury report of their own. Laramie Tunsil upgraded. He was limited on Thursday. Shaq Griffin was upgraded, did not practice Wednesday, full participant on Thursday. So that's good news. The bad news for 2 other players, by the way, Mike Woods, Malik Collins upgraded as well. Did not practice on Wednesday. Both were, Woods was limited, Collins was full on Thursday. The most significant absence here is Tank Dell. Tank Dell is their rookie wide receiver, their second leading receiver on the team behind Nico Collins. Suffered the concussion last week, did not practice Wednesday, did not practice Thursday. So the way it's trending with the concussion protocol in the NFL, Tank Dell's trending toward not playing against New Orleans. But if he can pass the concussion protocol to be on the field, we'll keep you posted. Trying to of note here, everyone else that was limited prior Everyone that's has a designation participated, either limited or full. The one that did not, again, was Tank Dell. So we'll continue to follow that. This is a very potent Texans passing offense, third in the NFL in passing offense. And Nico Collins, our leading receiver, Tank Dell, the rookie, is second on the team, followed by Robert Woods. Well, Dell, again, not participating. Woods, limited on Thursday. So we'll keep you posted as it moves throughout the week. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Speaking of injuries, Joe Burrow finally started to look like himself a little bit on Sunday in Arizona. He and Jamar Chase did what he and Jamar Chase do, and I guess all it really took was for Jamar Chase to say, "I'm always open," and they just absolutely shoved the ball his way the entire game against Arizona. What a day for Jamar Chase. 15 receptions, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Burrow. 36 of 46 for 317, 3 touchdowns, and a pick in that game against Arizona. But maybe most notable was late in that second half, Joe Burrow was running. He was scrambling, running up the middle. He was running. So if you have a calf injury, that would certainly limit you from doing that. But it didn't limit Burrow in that game. So is it continuing to improve? Joey B met with the media. Here's what he had to say about that calf.
It was a different spot the second time, so it wasn't quite as intense. But like I said, right now I'm feeling really good. Just got to keep it that way.
Is there a percentage you would put on your confidence?
It's hard to say. I'm confident that I can run around and extend and make plays right now. So tough to say percentage-wise, but we're pretty close.
Maybe a few more thoughts on the Cincinnati Bengals when we get to our what to watch at the bottom of this hour. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. You can always join the show. You can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. I had a great day earlier today. Want to give a shout-out and a hat tip to the old alma mater. Spent really my entire day over at LSU at the Manship School of Mass Communication. And our friend Chad Sabity, who you probably remember, did TV news for many years, both in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, is now a professor at LSU in the Manship School. And earlier today, they reintroduced a sports summit, which they did the first one. I think we figured it was 2016. Muse you were a student at LSU then, weren't you?
Yeah.
You came to that.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
And so they got together a panel of LSU alums across a variety of different media platforms and experiences, and it was really cool to be there. And so I was on a morning panel today with Kelsey Wingert, who you probably remember. Kelsey was the sideline reporter for the Braves the last 2 years. She's been the sideline reporter for the Colorado Rockies. Ryan Clark was there. Kat Terrell, of course, covers the Saints for ESPN.com. Our buddy Reggie Chapman, who graduated LSU, I believe, in 2019, did a couple years at WBRZ here in Baton Rouge. Now he's at Channel 11 in Atlanta. I mean, he went from Baton Rouge to Atlanta like that. Dude is just super talented, just on a skyrocketing trajectory. Our friend Tatum Everett, who is an LSU alum, who is now doing the content creation for the Minnesota Vikings. She's working for an NFL team. It's Mark Grant, our longtime friend, who's been a longtime director for CBS. One of the things that really just stood out to me the most is, and look, I love my alma mater. We talk all the time, obviously, about LSU athletics here, but I love LSU athletics. I want LSU to win in everything, but I love LSU. I love Louisiana State University. I love what LSU and the Manship School gave to me when I was a student there, and I'm always happy to go and give back. Now, when you look at that panel, it's also very obvious, like, of a who doesn't belong sort of thing, because you've got Kelsey, who works for an MLB team. You got RC, who's on everything all the time. Kat Terrell, who writes for ESPN.com. Reggie, who's in Atlanta, which is a top 10 market. Tatum, who's with the Minnesota Vikings. Mark Grant, who's a director for the NFL on CBS, and just recently this past year took over as the director of the NCAA tournament. And then me. So if you're like filling out the who doesn't belong, you're like, oh, the bald-headed guy who never left Baton Rouge. But I guess there are many different types of experiences in media. But in all seriousness, it was a thrill to be there and got to meet so many great LSU students and young people who were onward and upward. And I would say this forever, and a lot of people listening or maybe have a son, a daughter, a niece, a nephew, a friend who may want to pursue a career in media. I believe there's two types of people in this business. I think Muso and Paulie here would validate this as well. And guys, jump in if you think I'm wrong. I think there's two types of people in this business. I think there are people who realize wherever they got in their professional career, they had help getting there, and they're always willing to pay it forward to help however they can. And there's people who view everyone as competition and will step on your face to get wherever they want to go. And I've always liked to think of myself as the former, not the latter. I don't mean to say this in any way to be a backpat or anything, but there are so many times we have students in here shadowing the show, just to look and see, like, because I mean everybody had a hand at some point, right, to break in or to move up. So always extend those opportunities. And the best advice I can give you, if you're someone who's an aspiring broadcaster, or if you know it, if your son, daughter, again, niece, nephew, whoever may want a career in that, be patient, be persistent, and bother people. Like Muso bothered me.
You told me to.
Didn't I tell
so
you that?
I can vouch for everything that you said. Yes, you told me to bother you.
I told another kid today. He said, in that forum, he raised his hand. He's like, "Hey, I want to get a job. It's like, should I email somebody?" I'm like, email them, DM them on Twitter, Facebook, like
all of the above. Instagram, everything.
And then when they don't respond to you, do it again. Because man, it's a hard business to break into, and it's a harder business that even when you're in, to continue to advance. Like, so many talented people quit this industry because it is a long grind to find any type of stability. But look at that panel we had today, man. I mean, what a great representation. I mean, it's like the Manship School. People always talk about like Syracuse, North Carolina, Missouri is like the best journalism schools. Show me another J school that's pumped out the type of talent that Manship has.
And continues to. And continues to.
I mean, think about the breadth of Mark Grant, who finished in the early 80s, to Reggie, who was a 2019 graduate, and all the different experiences in between. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Oh, and I forgot Rachel Toss, who is a recent graduate as well. Rachel is the reporter for the Colorado Avalanche. She's not. I mean, she's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
She's not hockey, but she learned, and she took that opportunity and made the most of it. It's pretty incredible. Sorry, Rachel. I didn't mean to leave you off. I was just thinking about who I was on panels with today, and Rachel and I didn't have the same schedule, so I forgot about her. So my apologies, Rachel. My apologies. But she was great too. They're all awesome. So super talented people. All right. It's after further review. We're glad you're with us. All right. Let me just wanted to say that briefly. So thanks for indulging that, and hopefully somebody heard that it can help. Okay. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll head to Auburn. Want to get Justin Hokanson is going to join us from On 3. Want to get a little bit of a thumbnail view on the Auburn Tigers before they head to Baton Rouge this weekend. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Thrilled to welcome Glow Resources to the AFR family. And you've probably heard me talking about Glow Resources. And when I tell you about Glow Resources, they are not a temporary staffing agency. They are a company that works for their clients. They specialize not only in white collar, but also blue collared skilled labor. So, for example, welders, crane operators, also on the admin side. They do maritime, civil construction, service companies. This is so crazy because they will place people from all over the world. For example, they just recently placed an engineer from India in a job in Houston. It's Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. Look, for a lot of people, the hiring market is so bad right now, and everyone's looking for help. If you're tired of experimenting, call Glow Resources. Stop going the cheapest route and wasting money on training and effort. Get it right the first time with Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is,
the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
All right, y'all, glad to have you here as we roll along through a Thursday edition of AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. LSU and Auburn, Saturday night, Death Valley. Said it many times. My favorite LSU rivalry game played annually. I'm fired up for this one as well. Justin Hokanson joins us now. Auburn Live on 3. You can always get him there, and he's on Twitter at _J Hokanson. Justin, we appreciate it, man. How are you today?
I'm doing well, guys. How are y'all?
Man, doing really well. If you could give us a little bit of a temperature of where the Auburn program is right now, coming off their bye in year one under Hugh Freeze.
I would say the program, if you're talking broad view of the program, I think there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. They just sold out the New Mexico State game, so every game this season, every home game will be sold out for the first time in 8-9 years. So the energy's there. The collective is doing well in terms of NIL donors and money flowing into that. So the energy and excitement's there. I think people feel like it's going in the right direction. As far as this season goes and this team goes, I think they're itching to see some offensive improvements. Hugh Freeze is trying to build this talent up so that they can, have some playmakers and go out there and try to score 30 points the way LSU can, right, or 45, whatever LSU's averaging. So I think that's probably the biggest thing they're waiting to see is on the field. They want to see some of the Hugh Freeze offense. He's such a good play caller. They want to see that start to come to fruition, and it may or may not happen this year. I mean, you've got the talent on the field. He's got to recruit to it. But I think that's what they're waiting on. It's just been a lot of years of up and down offense under Gus Malzahn. and then of course Brian Harsin, and now you're in Hugh. So it's been a long time of offensive inconsistency outside of that 2017 season. So on the field, I think they're just waiting to see the offense try to make some strides, and we'll see if they can do that in Baton Rouge.
Why hasn't the offense made more strides in year one?
Oh man, it's been a lot of things. It's been a mix of pass protection at times. It's been a mix of receivers not making plays when the ball is in their area. It's been a mix of Peyton Thorne not keeping his eyes downfield. So it's been a mix of sort of everything against Cal and Texas A&M. Georgia, there were some strides in the right direction. They didn't commit any offensive penalties. They had one turnover at the very end of the game, which was a 4th down, last drive of the game. Auburn had to go for it. They're down 7. Peyton Thorne had to make a throw. Other than that, they didn't turn the ball over against Georgia, didn't commit a penalty. Ran the ball for 200 yards. Missed some opportunities in the passing game where some receivers had their hands on the ball. So I think it just comes down to the receivers. They've got a couple of okay players. Rivaldo Fairweather is a tight end that expands out and plays receiver. Jay Fair is okay in the slot, but they don't have the kind of playmakers you need at that position that other elite teams do. It starts there, and then fix the protection issues would be a good help. But if you have some better playmakers, Peyton Thorne is not an inaccurate quarterback. But there's just been a lot of things going on with that offense that have affected his ability to throw the ball. So it's just one of those things offensively where it all has to come together. It's easy to point towards a quarterback or one guy, but offense, it all has to work or it'll all fail. And so they've just had games where not all of it has been in sync.
Justin Hokanson's with us, Auburn Live. It's the On3 network. We've all watched this LSU defense this year, Justin. They're not good. Is there hope, optimism, realistic optimism there that this is a week where Auburn could break out against LSU offensively?
I mean, yeah, I think there's a hope. One of the things that I've been wondering on our podcast and stuff we've talked about this week is, LSU's pass defense has struggled, and even the rush defense. I mean, LSU's defense in general has just struggled, but is Auburn in position to take advantage of that? And I don't know. I mean, as bad as they've been, Auburn's passing game has been every bit as bad. And so you wonder, okay, whose weak point is going to come out as a strong point? And I don't know. On the road, it's going to be tough for Peyton Thorne in that passing offense. I don't necessarily think this is a week where Auburn gets well in the passing game, just because I think that environment's going to be crazy, and it's going to be a tough task for them to go throw the ball and for 175, 180 yards, 200 yards. I don't really see that happening. I think it'll be a mix of both. I think Auburn will make some plays through the air, but I think LSU will look a little bit better on defense too, because you're facing an offense that struggles some. So I think it'll be a little bit a mix of both. What I'm curious about is running the football. Does LSU start to crowd the box? Do teams start to look at Auburn and go, okay, if they're going to run the ball 68% of the time, we're just going to creep a safety up? And with LSU's struggles, do they do that? Do they say, listen, we don't think they have any faith throwing the ball. We're going to creep a safety up and dare them to throw. At some point, I feel like defenses are going to do that on Auburn, and I'm wondering if it's going to be Saturday and how that turns out.
I want to flip it and talk about the Auburn defense, because realistically, Justin, I think that's probably the matchup. The good-on-good matchup is going to be the one that determines this game. It's this explosive LSU offense against an Auburn defense under I'm blanking.
Ron Roberts?
Ron Roberts. I'm going Ron Arts on the tip of my tongue. Ron Roberts, who obviously was here at Southeastern for so many years. We got to see. He was a great defensive coordinator. Where is Auburn strongest defensively that they might be able to try to limit what LSU does?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they've probably been better than I thought they were going to be. I thought that was really going to be a weak spot, and I don't think, the depth is still not quite there, but they've performed well. For the most part, they've been in the right spots and played pretty sound defense. They're kind of middle of the road in the SEC in terms of points and yards, maybe just above average. Where they've excelled is in a couple of areas that's allowed them to be good. Turnovers, they're second in the league. They forced 10 turnovers. They're good on third downs, pretty good. I think they're fourth in the league in terms of total third down conversions given up, and they're first in the league in red zone conversions allowed. So while they've been okay, kind of between the 20s, been pretty good, okay, they've been really good at locking teams down and not allowing touchdowns, forcing some turnovers, and sort of making up for maybe a talent gap and a depth gap that they have. They're not great rushing the passer. They have to blitz, whether it's a linebacker or a nickel. They have to blitz to force pressure. The secondary's been pretty good. There's a lot of experience in the secondary, so that'll be a really interesting matchup with DJ James, who will play in the NFL. Jalen Simpson leads the country with 4 picks. Nehemiah Pritchett. You got some experienced guys back there against a bunch of good receivers from LSU, so that'll be an interesting matchup. But I think it's going to be a deal where Auburn's going to have to say, well, look, we're just going to try to contain Jaden Daniels, which means we're probably not going to sack him. We may not even force a ton of pressure. There's going to be a lot of passing yards probably had by LSU. I think Auburn's goal is, when they get close, can we hold them to a field goal? Can we force a turnover? Can we limit the damage? As you get close to the end zone, that's going to be the thing. But that's Ron Roberts' calling card is trying to create some havoc, and I think they've done a pretty good job of that so far this year. They've played well.
That's an interesting approach, Justin, to think that Auburn may sit back, because LSU's receivers have they've been so good this year. I mean, look, it's a catch-22, man, with this offense. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But from afar, I've kind of been looking at Auburn's injury report, and it seems like there's maybe some significant guys that maybe didn't get all the way back with the bye. Are there key injuries going into this game for Auburn?
Yeah, there are some. And look, Ron Roberts will blitz. Like, they're going to take their chances blitzing, but I just think you're playing with fire when you talk about Jaden Daniels and blitzing, because if you don't get there and he takes off and runs, you're in trouble too. So they'll blitz and they'll try to force some pressure, but you're just going to have to do it at opportune times. Yeah, as far as injuries, they've been hit on that side of the ball. Austin Keys started the year as your starting middle linebacker. He was injured in game 1. Then in game 3, Keontae Scott, who might be the best overall football player on the team, was the punt returner and the starting nickel. He got hurt against Stanford. He's out as well. Both those guys may return later in the year, but for now they're not there at all. And then last week, Messiah Nasili Kite, a Maryland transfer who's the starting defensive end, got hurt, and he's out for the season. So you're going into this game at this point now 3 starters down on defense, and it starts to wear. They don't have the depth to sustain a lot of these injuries. Keldrick Falk, who was the highest-rated player in the class last year, will now start at defensive end in place of Nasili Kite. Really good player, looks the part, but just young and inexperienced. And they've got to develop a little bit more depth on the defensive line. They've got Eugene Asante and Larry Nixon at linebacker, but if one of those guys gets hurt, they're in trouble too. So these injuries, they're okay. Donovan Coughlin's been really good in the nickel too. So they're okay for now, but another injury to any of those guys, and it's going to start to really hurt them.
Justin Hokanson is our guest. Auburn Live from On3 on Twitter at _J Hokanson. Y'all give him a follow. We saw Carlson's kick at Auburn for like nearly a decade. How are they, if this does end up? And Justin, look, aside from 2020, the blowout on the Plains, this has been close. It's been within 5 points, like the last 7, the last 8. If it is close, if it comes down to a kick, how is Auburn in special teams?
I think they've been really good. I mean, you've got punter, you got Oscar Chapman, who was honored as a Ray Guy punter of the week, I think, against Georgia. He had like a 71-yarder and a 60-yarder. He's great, one of the best punters in the country. And then kicking, they have Alex McPherson, and of course McPherson's a popular name. His brother kicked at Florida and in the NFL kicking. Alex was arguably the best kicker in the country out of high school. I think a year ago. He was a freshman last year at Auburn. He's 5 for 5 this year, and he's made 9 in a row going back to last year. He's missed 1 kick since he took over the duties against A&M last year. So he's really good. He kicked a 61-yarder in scrimmage, fall scrimmage, 60-something yarder during practice. So he's got a big leg. So special teams-wise, Auburn's in good shape in terms of punting and kicking. The Keontae Scott being out hurts them on punt return. All they're doing right there is just trying to field the punt. They really don't have a playmaker there. And then Brian Battie is pretty good on kick returns. But kicking and punting, Auburn's in pretty good shape. It's probably the most consistent part of their football team.
Curious what name will come up with this one when it's all said and done Saturday night in Death Valley. He's Justin Hokanson on Twitter at _J Hokanson. Auburn Live. Y'all give him a follow there on Twitter as well. We appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, be well. It is after further review. Did it strike you the way it did me hearing his apprehension talking about the Auburn offense against the LSU defense? You know what's interesting is, like, when I talk about the LSU defense, I'm really worried because Hugh Freeze, creative play caller, and he'll use a lot of motion. And look, they were able to move the ball against Georgia, and everybody's moved the ball against LSU. I get how bad they are. And I asked the question, like, is this a feeling where Auburn may have a little bit of an offensive breakout because of that LSU defense? And his answer, did you hear it, Muse? Like, it sounded a lot like the same sort of, I don't know, kind of hoping, but not really.
It was. I mean, it was the other side of the coin, just him talking about the offense. It's interesting because LSU's biggest weakness is Auburn's biggest weakness. Like, LSU's biggest weakness is secondary. Auburn's biggest weakness is the passing game. So, I mean, something's got to give. I don't know. I'm with you, man. I just think anybody can kind of go out there and throw the ball against LSU right now.
It's good on good, bad on bad.
Yeah.
When LSU has the ball, it's good on good because Auburn's defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
When Auburn's got the ball, it's bad on bad. Their passing offense is atrocious. Jarquez Hunter's a really good player, but their offensive line isn't great. And LSU's defense, we know the issues. So I guess for me, it's really and Russ made light of this yesterday, and I don't blame him, but is what we saw in the second half against Missouri, was that maybe like pointing the ship in the right direction? I'm not saying like your full throttle going in the right direction, but like, did you point yourself finally in the right direction so now you could start to move that way and improve? Like, we see more with the four-man front. Harold Perkins, we talked about Harold's got his now designated nickel Sam spot. We see more of Ryan Yates. Like, maybe, hope so. I don't know if I believe it. Got to see it. Maybe.
You'll get your answer if there's certainty, I think, there, right? Because, I mean, we saw a revolving door at cornerback. Well, I think you're probably going to see Sage Ryan and Alexander again this week at the starts, right? And
that'll be interesting. Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like coming off that where you finally had some success, why would you change anything until it proves not to work?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, sometimes it's a matchup thing. Like, maybe they felt like we got a break. Coming out of Ole Miss, they didn't tackle. And Brian Kelly said this. Like, you don't have to guess. He said over and over again, they like Sage Ryan because he can tackle.
Yeah.
So that's why they hadn't played him at corner since the opener against Florida State. When he missed a tackle, and probably they removed him and put Deuce Chestnut in. And we saw that. Literally the second play of the game. So maybe they put a guy in there because they wanted him to tackle. Well, maybe this week it's a different thought. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll do what to watch when we come back. RC in 30 minutes. Mike Triplett next hour as well. We're glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by ProCharge EV. ProChargeEV.com. Electric vehicle chargers for your home or your office building. If you own a commercial building, let me say it to you so plainly. Not only is this an amenity for your customers, for your clients, for your employees, but it can also be a revenue generator. Think of it. You install an electric vehicle charger. When people in their EVs pull into your lot and they plug in to charge their vehicle, there's a tap to pay option. Well, ProCharge processes all those payments, and then you just get a check. Boom. It's another revenue generator, passive revenue generator, and something that will be a great amenity for your customers, clients, for your employees. There's one pretty prominent medical facility in Baton Rouge that has EV chargers because most of their doctors drive EVs. ProCharge can help. It's a local company right here in Baton Rouge, but they service the entire Gulf South. It's ProCharge EV. Go to ProChargeEV.com, ProChargeEV.com.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
All right, cruising through hour number 2. Of course, we'll get to Otter Locks coming up next hour, Thursday Night Football. It is the Broncos at the Chiefs. That's great, man, but who are the Chiefs? Let's see if Sean Payton can avoid further embarrassment. Boy, Denver's sitting there at 1-4. Losing to Zach Wilson and the Jets after all the smack that Sean Payton talked about Nathaniel Hackett to give up 70 against Miami. I wonder if Sean Payton would rather be at that golf course in Idaho or Montana, wherever he goes and plays with Wayne Gretzky every Tuesday. Maybe so, and may want to be plunged further into those depths after tonight against Kansas City. We'll get a pick from Jimmy Ott and preview Thursday Night Football coming up in hour number 3. Okay, we do this every Thursday. Muso, Paulie, and I tell you 3 things we're watching on this football weekend. We call it What to Watch. Hit it, Muse.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All right, Muse, fire away.
Yeah, so remember a couple weeks ago, Matt, you asked, have we started naming Saturdays yet in college football? I don't know if they have nationally. Yeah. I don't know if they have nationally, but I'm going to go ahead and call this one Steady the Boat Saturday for a couple of teams. Yeah,
Steady the Boats. Let me write that down. It's going to be hard to fit it on a graphic.
It is. But I'm going to start in Knoxville, Tennessee, and not with the Volunteers. I want to know if Texas A&M can steady the boat. Many picked them to beat Alabama last week. That didn't happen. You did it. I had them on the money line. That didn't happen.
I did not have them on the money line. I did pick them to win, but I bet them with the points. I always take the points if you can.
Yeah, I know. I went full into it. Anyway, going to Knoxville, tough test, and they still obviously have a trip to Oxford on the schedule and a trip to Baton Rouge. They let this one get away. It could be an ugly year again in College Station.
Mm-hmm. Paulie!
Pac-12 showdown.
Let's go.
Oregon, Washington.
Give me more.
Top 10 matchup between Michael Penix, Bo Nix, both quarterbacks in Heisman race. Two high-powered offenses. The winner will obviously be atop of the Pac-12 standings. Did you know this is the first time
a DYK?
Love them.
First
Here we
time
go.
in 114 meetings that both teams are ranked in the top 10.
What?
When they meet each other.
You shut your
That's
face.
a good one.
Did not know that.
Yep.
Good Paulie. They don't call him the best color analyst in the business for nothing, y'all. We're watching Iowa. You know that every week. I was at Wisconsin. We all know they got average 25 for the OC to keep his job. They're at 21.8 points per game. They're headed to Madtown, where that Wisconsin defense is allowing 18.4 points per game. I'm just going to go on a limb here, Muse. I don't think they're going to increase their pace after this weekend. I think they're just going to plunge themselves deeper into the depths of offensive despair. Iowa at Wisconsin. We're watching.
Of course, that's right around
Let
Iowa's.
me rephrase. We're not watching it. Like we're not gonna. I'm not watching it.
We're just keeping an eye.
We're gonna look for the. We're gonna look at the box score afterwards.
Out of the side of our, peripheral vision there. Good news for Iowa. It's kind of like right on their average. So
Isn't the under like 32 in that game?
Not enough.
Yeah,
It's not enough. Continuing our theme of steadying the boat, we go to South Bend, Indiana. Can Notre Dame steady the boat? Obviously, USC comes into town. Top 25 matchup there. A trip to Clemson still remaining on the schedule for the Irish. You better get this one if you can. People might get a little restless with Marcus Freeman.
So this is going to be a horrible game.
Oh, Paulie, my bad. I thought it was mine. Sorry. Yep, you're good. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, this is going to be a horrible game. So I'm not actually watching the game itself. I'm paying attention to Vikings-Bears. 2 1-4 teams. I'm more interested to see what the Vikings do without Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Obviously, he went on IR. They're facing the Bears, which is awful themselves. I'm just more interested to see if the Vikings lose, will they become sellers at the trade deadline?
That is a good point.
Kirk Cousins' name floating out there, so we'll see which one is more bad, I guess.
Who would make a quarterback change midway through a season for a starting quarterback? You know, like what contender would add a starting quarterback?
Not many.
Midway through the season. That's the tough part.
Unless there was an injury. Yeah.
If you were like the Niners last year and you were down to no quarterbacks, now that was in the NFC Championship game, but like that would make sense. I mean, not in the championship game clearly, but you know what I mean. If you were a contender and you lost your starter and you felt like you need something, I would get it. But hard to make I'm sure the Vikings would love to unload it. I'm sure they would. I don't know if but it's funny. We mentioned the LSU Sports Summit. So Tatum Everett, who's the content creator for the Vikings, was there, and she was even saying like she wants to stay and go to the LSU Auburn game, but she's got to be in Chicago. So I got to go to the Bears. Like even she was like, rather be here for the LSU Auburn game. I don't blame you. I am interested in Indy and Jacksonville. Bear with me, okay? Number one, Jacksonville did great. 2-0 in London. They figured it out. They were there, stayed there for 2 weeks, went 2-0 in London. But this is interesting. Is there a London letdown?
Yeah.
Coming back after 2 weeks overseas. Number one. Number two, of course, Gardner Minshew is starting for Anthony Richardson. Might that be an improvement for the Colts? And keep in mind, these two teams are tied for the division lead at 3-2. So whoever wins this game is in sole possession of first place of that division. And remember, the surest way to make the playoffs is win your division. So this is actually a really big game for those two teams. Yeah, you can hit the little swoop.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, we're moving to the NFL here.
Keep things moving.
Yeah. Moving. Moving to the NFL here. 6
One credit
spreads.
card receipt for Swedish made.
6 spreads of a touchdown or more in the NFL this week. I want to see how many teams cover. That is a lot of points. It gets started tonight. The Chiefs are a 10.5-point favorite at home against the Denver Broncos. I mean, you have
You laying the points?
Kind of want to, yeah. Well, we'll wait and see what Otter says. The Niners are an 8.5-point road favorite in Cleveland. No Deshaun Watson. You got the Bills by 14.5. A lot of big spreads. How many get covered?
They're from 2 bad teams. I'm going to go back to 2 good teams. I'm going to watch the Lions and the Bucks.
I thought you said 2 good teams. I'm sorry.
Well, 1 good team and 1
team that just is leading a bad division.
Record right now.
Got it. Sure.
So yeah, the Lions are 4-1. Bucks are 3-1. They had their bye last week. The Lions, will help the Saints if they win. Obviously, give the Bucs a loss. So that's kind of more of what I'm just paying attention to. It's more of the Saints angle to that game.
And I feel like we got to throw out Cincinnati, right? So Seattle at Cincinnati. Bengals are 2.5-point favorite. Are the Bengals back? I mean, after their horrendous start, Joe Burrow throws for 300 yards. Jamar Chase nearly 200 yards receiving. Last week on the road in Arizona, now they're back home. If Joey B's getting healthy, the Seattle defense, by the way, allowing nearly 23 points per game. This feels like it should be an opportunity for the Bengals offense, if they are back on track, to keep going on track. But this will be pretty telling. And I mean, mostly, look, Muse, Paulie, and I, that's our Super Bowl pick for all three of us.
Yeah, we got a lot on the line.
You've got to win this one. Like, you're at home. If you're going to get back to 500 and start approaching that again, you got to go get this game. So I'll watch Seattle and Cincy. Okay, there you have it. That's what to watch this weekend. We'll come back on Monday and I'll recap all of it. Then we'll also go over our college football takeaways on Monday's AFR. We're glad you're with us. Our Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. Let me knock out a quick break. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2, and then RC in 15 minutes from right now. RC's doing NFL Live right now, so he'll finish that and then come on AFR. I mean, that's what and what, right? NFL Live, AFR, NFL Live. We get confused all the time. Stay with us here. It is AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. Thursday night football. Need a place to watch? Get by Pluckers. Why not? You know what they got at Pluckers tonight? All you can eat boneless buffalo bites. Both locations. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Why in the world wouldn't you want to go to Pluckers tonight? You got Thursday night football, as we mentioned. Sean Payton, the Denver Broncos, visiting Kansas City and the Chiefs. So watch Thursday night NFL football. You got MLB postseason. You got 2 good college games tonight as well. West Virginia at Houston. Little Big 12 action there. Timmy B on the call tonight, by the way, on FS1. Also, SMU, future Big 12 team, SMU at East Carolina tonight. You want to watch both those games and Thursday night football in the NFL all in one place while eating award-winning boneless buffalo chicken bites? Go to Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Remember, it's Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A principal at an elementary school removed from her position this week. The timing appears to be no coincidence, happening around the time that the DeFrock School in Baton Rouge was cited for a number of deficiencies by the Department of Education. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Not a great night for the Otter yesterday. Gave us the over in both MLB games. That was a double bamp.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks scored in one inning.
That's a double.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. And then they gave us Sam Houston plus 3.5. Got to get back on track. Thursday Night Football is a good opportunity to do it. See if we can get that done tonight. Of course, you can bet at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. New customers make a $5 NFL bet. They give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. I like to snap like that. Also, if you check out, I tell you every day, every customer, new and existing, can take advantage of everyday specials. Right now, there's a 50% Thursday Night Football boost for tonight with the Broncos and the Chiefs. It's a 50% profit boost for any bet on the Broncos and Chiefs. So check out all the terms right there. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. You see it right at the top of the app. Just tap opt-in, and when you go to make your bet, just select the bonus, and it'll apply. You'll see it apply right there. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. I'll be betting Thursday Night Football. Need the Otter to get back on track, though, Muse. Got a good one tonight. I mean, rough night last night, 0-3. I don't want to give DraftKings all my money back, so let's win some of it back tonight. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet. New customers make a $5 bet. They give you $200 in bonus bets instantly, only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, Muso. Tigers in the pros. Pro.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Aaron Nola. Cover your ears, Paulie. Aaron Nola, 5 2/3 yesterday against the Bravos. 2 earned runs, punched out 9, and got his second win of the postseason. Nola's postseason ERA right now, 1.42. The Phillies beat the Braves 10-2.
Take that, Esther. Take that, Jake Crane.
Okay.
Take that, Paulie. All you Braves people.
Anybody else?
Who else are Braves fans that we know?
I don't know.
Take that, Reggie Chapman. He works in Atlanta.
Reggie's from California.
I know, but he works in Atlanta. Take that, T-Bob. From Atlanta.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Who else we got?
I don't know.
Take that, Ted Turner.
Yeah, former owner there. All right.
Take that, Terry Pendleton.
Okay, yeah.
Take that, Mark Lemke.
Okay. Bobby Wohlers? We got a Bobby Wohlers in there?
But who's the really racist closer? He's been on the show. John.
What the hell?
Rocker. Take that, John Rocker.
Yeah, okay. All right. Jamal Adams is officially cleared concussion protocol. He is pacing to play this week against the Cincinnati Bengals. That's great news for Jamal Adams to know he's ready to be back on the field. Keeping with that theme, Matt, here's something else for you to watch in that Bengals Seahawks game. Devon Witherspoon, great Great rookie corner right now for the Seahawks. But after Sunday, he might want to have a word with his teammate, DK Metcalf, who might have threw him to the Wolves. DK Metcalf said that Witherspoon's going to get the best of Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase came back and said he's going to get the opportunity to get his matchup, and we'll see who wins that matchup. Keep an eye on that. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. Our buddy Scott Berg just got back from overseas, purchasing gorgeous diamonds. Sure to thrill her and make you a hero, gentlemen. If you're thinking of popping the question, go nowhere other than Lee Michaels, where you always get the Lee Michaels experience. LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. RC's going to finish up on NFL Live so he can join us next here on AFR.
AFR.
I'm dead serious. Look, he's on NFL Live right now. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. I'm always reminded of this. A few years back, Kelly over at South Point sent me this story. There was an AFR listener who heard our ads and bought a Jetta. He had twin daughters. Bought them a Jetta, and it was their first vehicle. And I'll never forget it because it was Thanksgiving Day, and got a call that there had been a car wreck at an intersection. Someone had run a red light. He showed up, and the front half of the car was missing, and his heart sunk and just knew that it didn't go well. And he looked up, and his daughters were talking to the police officer, kind of just laughing and very happy and very safe. And said from that point on, he would only ever drive Volkswagens. We were talking about the safest vehicles on the road, the highest safety designation. You get all the style, the feel, the performance of luxury without the cost and all the safety features. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. Game 4 of the NLDS tonight. Phillies can eliminate the Braves again with a win. Coverage at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio Atlanta. Starting Spencer Strider in a winner-go-home game. Went 7 innings, allowing 1 run in Game 1 against Philadelphia. Meanwhile, in the NFL, rough start to the season in New England with some questions about Bill Belichick's future with the Patriots. NFL reporter Peter King thinks owner Robert Kraft would consider making a change.
We'll always feel indebted to Bill Belichick. I don't think that he feels like Bill Belichick's got a job for life. If this year is a debacle, I won't be surprised if he considers making a change.
King on Carlin versus Joe. Chiefs Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce expected to play tonight, dealing with a foot injury. Broncos getting back tight end Greg Dulcich, activated to play off IR.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon. Coming up Friday, I'll tell you why my favorite team's season is over. Sorry, Giants fans. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona. And here we go. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
AFR on demand. Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, Holders kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Mike Triplett in 15 minutes from right now. We'll give you Thursday Night Football preview, Otterlocks. Let us begin, though, hour 3 with the birthday boy himself, RC.
It's time to talk Tigers with former LSU safety Ryan Clark.
RC, what's good, man?
Nothing much, brother. You know, did a panel this morning with this great radio host from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and, you know, then came home and did some work. It's like me to just work on my birthday. This is what dads do.
RC, we're sitting here in studio, and you're on NFL Live, and we're like, I mean, it's 30 seconds past the hour. It's 40. Like, RC's still on. Like, is he still, like, is this taped or is he live? I think it's NFL Live. I mean, you like literally just just finished NFL Live. Are you still sitting in the room with the?
No. So you guys must watch ESPN2.
It's on. Yes, it's ESPN2. Yes.
Yeah. So it's over at 4 o'clock. So we're good. I just finished taping SportsCenter.
Oh, wait. So is that tape delayed?
No. So it airs live on ESPN 4 to 5 Eastern, and then it re-airs 5 to 6 Eastern on ESPN2 right after.
So we had PTI and NFL Live on same time, simultaneously, side by side. Got it. Okay, I was like, oh my goodness, dude. Wait, so you were just on SportsCenter because we got ESPN on too. Also,
well, you tape SportsCenter. I get to tape SportsCenter, and they'll do that for me so I can be done a little bit earlier.
See, look at we're getting all a little peek behind the curtain here, how all this goes for old RC. Yeah, man. Hey, man, we appreciate the time, as always. Hey, I'm curious, watching LSU last weekend, the conversation here all week, RC, has been, okay, second half, they got some stops. Missouri had 6 possessions. LSU only gave up 2 scores. did they find something like trained eye? Did you see anything different?
No, I mean, from a schematic standpoint, they seem to do many of the same things. I want to say what Harold got the pick in the second half. Mason was able to create some pressure. I think what they were able to do was not give up the big play. And whether that's tackling, whether it's communication, whatever it is, they made Missouri earn yardage. And so much of what's happened to LSU, especially when you go back to Ole Miss or you go back to the first half of Mizzou, it was giving up the big play and not making people earn points, earn touchdowns. And a lot of times, if you defend every blade of grass, you just make it hard on teams to be that efficient, hard on teams to not make mistakes. And I thought that was what they did a really good job of in the second half. And you hope that continues into Auburn this week, who, quite frankly, has struggled a little bit offensively.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels and LSU have not struggled offensively at all. I mean, you've obviously seen Jaden his entire career when he started at Arizona State with Jordan. Could you have seen this, RC? I mean, it's...
Do you remember, Moscona? I think I told you this when he first got here, and I said I expected Jaden to be a Heisman candidate before he left college. Did you remember I told you that? I want to say I said that to you guys before.
You probably did. It wouldn't surprise me if you did.
Yeah, I said that, and I think I mentioned a matchup against Justin Herbert in Oregon in his freshman year.
Yes,
which
that happened.
He throws for 300 yards, pushes the football down the field to Brandon Ayuk for an 80-yard touchdown to seal the deal. And I just remember saying that night, like, holy cow, like, this kid is special. Like, he has an opportunity to be a Heisman candidate. Now, it doesn't hurt him that he got an extra year of college.
Sure.
Right? To mature. And I think not only an extra year, a year to be here again. And what he's doing is phenomenal. Like, I'm extremely proud of him. It's the toughness to me that he's shown. The rib injury against Missouri, you continue to play, you continue to run the ball, continue to use your legs. Hell, I hope he gets down sometimes. But the accuracy in the downfield passing, how great he's been on that box fade or slot fade the whole season. There isn't a quarterback in the country outside of, Caleb Williams and, maybe Drake May or Michael Penix who's playing better football than Jaden Daniels is. And there isn't one quarterback in the country who's contributed more to his team's success than Jaden Daniels has. And I think it's been really impressive.
If you're watching, we just pulled up the 81-yard touchdown he threw as a freshman to Brandon Ayuk. I mean, a total dime down the left sideline against Oregon. Do you think – all right, two more things. One, do you think Jaden Daniels is an NFL starter? He's a great college player. Is he an NFL starter?
I don't believe right away that makes sense to you. Jaden Daniels needs to sit. I think Jaden Daniels, my opinion only, is as good a prospect as Jordan Love is, or Jordan Love was.
Okay.
I truly believe that. Now, Jordan Love is struggling of sorts right now, but Jordan Love had to sit. I think Jaden Daniels would have to sit. Jaden Daniels would have to learn, continue to increase his accuracy or improve upon it. But I do believe those things, like, that's something we saw just from last year to this year, Matt, the improvement in that part of his game. And so I do believe he's a guy that could end up being a starter in the league for sure. But right now, you probably draft him, third round, like a Hendon Hooker, even though Hendon was coming off an injury, third round like a Hendon Hooker to a team that has a Kirk Cousins, who you say to yourself, we don't know how much longer this guy is going to be a good or very good starter, and we'll have that backup who can step up in his place when it's time.
Ryan Clark is with us. I had two more things. Number one, I would love Uncle Ryan's story time. My favorite LSU Auburn game ever. I was a student at LSU 2001 when you all won that December Auburn game to punch your ticket to the SEC championship game for the first time in LSU history. What do you remember, or do you remember much about that game or that night?
Michael Clayton almost killing a returner.
This is the play right here. We had it pulled up right on cue.
It's what I remember, because it was the moment I was like, ain't no way we're losing this game. It was the stadium was electric, And it was one of those things, Matt, too. We knew we were a good team, but in truth, we weren't a great football team.
Mm-hmm.
We just weren't. And that night sort of made me feel like, oh, wait, we are a team of some uncertain destiny. Like, there's a reason we are here. There was a reason, and in no way am I saying, 9/11, which is one of the more or most horrific days in, our history as a country, but in my life, it's the top most horrific day, most tragic day. It was like we weren't ready to play Auburn then.
Mm-hmm.
We probably don't beat Auburn at that time. But when we got a chance to play them, the electricity surrounding our team, the energy in that stadium, because we knew what was at stake, there was no way we lose.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot of that momentum you carry into Tennessee that blasts you in Knoxville that year, which, by the way, is the worst college football game I ever played.
That was the Kelly Washington game.
Yeah, and it's probably more so why Kelly Washington told me walking off the field at the SEC championship that he was going to play in the NFL for a long time, and I was never going to get a shot. Mine had the tables turned. I wonder where he is now. Nobody knows. Nobody effing knows.
That was so good.
But, I think it's just like we were a team of destiny, man. We really were. And it was kind of, at that point, the Rohan Davies of the world, the Dominic Davises, and the Brandon Tofields, Matt Mock comes in the championship. That was the night I realized, I was like, man, we're going to do something really cool, and we're going to start something at LSU. And, 2 years later, they win the national championship.
Yeah, man. That was a great night. Oh, that was a lot of fun. I wish I knew how to smoke a cigar then. I had one. I lit it on the field. I think maybe I just let it dangle out of my mouth, RC. I got it's still sitting in a jar in my office at my house.
Moscona, where were you? Because it had to be high school Sconey, or maybe it had to be high school Sconey at this time.
Okay.
Maybe you were in college when Auburn blasted us on our own field and they smoked the cigars.
Okay, so I hate to tell you this in particular. That was a day game in Tiger Stadium on Saturday, as you remember.
Uh-huh.
But that Saturday, I, as a senior at Calic High, was playing Archbishop Shaw at Haas-Memphis Stadium.
Shut up.
I'm dead serious.
That is crazy.
And we scored on every possession of the first half. Returned the second half kickoff for a touchdown, although the ref called it back, said Greg Skidmore stepped out of bounds, which he didn't. And Chiron Carey led Shaw back, and they beat us by a point. So we bust back to Baton Rouge, and then I got in my shower, got in my car, and that's when I heard the score of the game, and I was like, what the hell? 49 to what?
It was the worst. But, okay, this is more story time for Matt and RC.
Okay.
How amazing of a high school player was Chiron Carey?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm just glad I didn't have to try to tackle him, bro. I was on the other side of the ball, man. No, Chiron was awesome.
I tell people all the time, because I wore number 2 at Shaw. I gifted it. We could pass our numbers down. I passed it down to him. And I just remember going back and watching him play and saying, my goodness, he's so much better than I was in it. This little kid is 5'6", and he's impossible to tackle. But yeah, man,
he took over a little bit in the second half. We couldn't get him on the ground in the second half.
It was the reason. It was the reason that kid committed to Tennessee one year, set out because of grades, and then was able to commit to LSU. It wasn't because he couldn't play football.
No doubt. All right, before you go, you ready, Muse? Hang on. Today, 44 years ago. This is a weird version, Muse. All right, here we go.
It's piano.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear RC. Happy birthday to you. All right, RC. All right, we can clap it up here. I'm going to clap alone there.
Thank you, guys, man. I appreciate it.
All right. RC, thanks for making time as always, man. Hope you have a great birthday, man. We'll talk soon, all right?
My man, have a great one. Thank y'all, boys.
Be well. That's Ryan Clark. This is After Further Review. Mike Triplett next. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darin James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. I want to challenge you to do this right now if you're thinking about selling your home. If you're thinking about selling your home, or maybe if you got your home listed for sale by owner and you can't get anybody through your house, or if maybe you got it listed with another realtor, that contract's ending, and you're thinking about what you're going to do, I want you to call Darin James. I want you to call Darin James, and I want you to do it now. I'm going to give you his cell phone number, 225. It's in the 225. I'm going to give you Darin's cell phone number in just a second. Darin has his guaranteed sale program. It's easy. Come up with a price and a deadline. You and Darin will sit down. If he doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash, or he'll sell it for free for his half of the commission. You have nothing to lose. So call Darin James right now, or text him. It's his cell number, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Here at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, we have in stock 2023 Toyota Tundras, and you can get 1,000 special edition bonus cash, $1,000 bonus cash. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified, and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you,
After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Mike!
Yeah?
Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplett of New Orleans Football. Presented by Benny's Car Wash, family owned and operated since 1951.
All right, we welcome aboard Mike Triplett from New Orleans Football. Talk a little black and gold as Saints winners this past weekend, trying to make it 2 in a row when they head to Houston. Mike, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Way better than last week. I mean, when both the Saints and the Tigers win, it's just a much better week. Just good, better vibes all around. Is that kind of the feeling around the Saints organization this week, coming off a pretty resounding win in New England?
Yeah, I mean, how could it not be? But I think everybody kind of recognizes that on offense, at least, that they just sort of scratched the surface and still weren't perfectly clean and still have to be a little better than that. It looks like there's a potential change coming at left tackle with Trevor Penning, who remains a work in progress. So, you know, I think they hope that's one they can build off of. Obviously, the defense was back to just total peak form. They've had a lot of great games over the last 5-6 years, but that's right up there in the upper echelon.
You pitch a shutout in the NFL, it's just not something that
156 yards allowed, 156 total.
How much
that
of
says
that?
a lot about New England too, though.
Well, that was going to be my question, right? So how much of that was Saints defense is great? How much of that is New England stinks?
Yeah, New England does stink, and there was a formula going into that game, and it was kind of reminiscent. Even though Mac Jones is in his third year, he's struggling so bad, and the home crowd was ready to turn on him in that game. We talked about that last week. The Saints defense had to be like, don't let this guy get comfortable. Don't let him get the crowd behind him. Just make the crowd turn on this team right away. And they followed the script. They said, you're not going to run against us. It's up to Mac Jones. He couldn't do it. And I think it probably started to snowball from there. But this schedule is full of quarterbacks that they can do. Like, Bryce Young in Carolina, they did that to him too. C.J. Stroud does not seem like a rookie. He's playing like one of the better quarterbacks in the league this year, but there are a lot of quarterbacks in this league that they can make life hard on like that.
Let me, Mike, I want to come back to the Saints defense against C.J. Stroud, but let me not miss a point that you made a bit ago, which is about a potential change at left tackle. What can you tell us?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of signs pointing to it. I know Nick did some reporting in his film study, real detailed, that you should go look on the site, New that's kind of hidden in the good of the win. That surprisingly, Trevor Penning has really struggled as a run blocker, which was supposed to be the one thing he was supposed to be able to do just coming out the gates. And we talked so much about his pass protection struggles, which he's cleaned up a little bit, which they've cleaned up as a team a little bit by giving him some help, but he hasn't been their best, run blocker either. And now that Andrus Peat is a healthy option at left guard and run blocking is his specialty, and James Hurst has maybe played better at left tackle than he's been playing at left guard, their best five, could potentially be the veteran group, while Trevor Penning continues to be a work in progress now. They haven't announced anything like that, but it's definitely signs pointing to a possible change here.
If you go check out New Orleans Football on Twitter or on X, at NOF Network, you can see the report that Brooke filed as well about Penning there. And, of course, you can always go read at neworleans.football, neworleans.football. It's where we find Mike Triplett's work. Of course, his visit with us every single Thursday is brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. We also saw Alvin Kamara look like Alvin Kamara in this offense. 22 rushes, maybe was a little heavier workload than I thought. Mike, we kind of got accustomed to seeing Kamara and, like, if it were Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray, kind of split the load there.
Murray, present.
Are we expecting Kamara to then shoulder a larger burden again? Is that something we could expect to see moving forward?
Maybe, but I think it's also the best that Kendry Miller has looked this season, and especially in the passing game with four catches, including one that went 33 yards, and finally seeing him get open. I mean, both of them, it's like the offense has to work to really take advantage of their skill sets, but they finally got into the second level of the defense, and I think both those guys are so dangerous. Alvin, the way he has that great balance, he can make guys miss. Kendry Miller with the power that he has once he gets ahead of steam going. So that's what's essential to this team. If the offensive line can play well enough to get those guys into the second level, then everything can build off that. And I think that was one of the big problems early this season too, is they had absolutely no run game. They went into New England as a bottom 5 team in yards per carry. And if those guys can look like that, and you're right, Alvin does look like he's sipping from the fountain of youth a little bit, but the holes also have to be there. But that's a huge first step.
Mike, how does this offense match up against Houston?
It's interesting. I don't know a ton about Houston's defense, but except for where their coach comes from San Francisco, who's doing it better than anyone in the league, and obviously some of that is translating. Houston is overachieving this year. They had a tough loss to Atlanta, obviously, this last week, but they've been way more competitive than I think anyone expected them to be. There's certainly no free pass element to this, especially being on the road. I don't put this in the same bucket, and frankly, in some ways, feels like almost like a tougher matchup than Green Bay, which they obviously weren't able to pull off after Derek Carr got hurt. So I think it's one that if the Saints play to their abilities on offense, it's a matchup they should have the advantage in. But we haven't seen enough of that to just assume they're going to show up and do that.
And it's so odd because we would think the Saints would have the advantage offensively, but you would think the same thing when you flip it, Mike, because the Saints defense has been so good and you're facing a rookie quarterback, but C.J. Stroud's third in the NFL in passing offense, and he's throwing to Nico Collins and Tank Dell. I mean, it ain't like he's got Chris Olave and he's not throwing to Justin Jefferson, right? It's kind of incredible what they've been able to do. So is this a matchup with Stroud where, despite the fact that the Saints' defense has been so good, like, do you worry about the defense's ability to contain that offense?
Yeah, and look, we saw. It's funny. Joe Woods compared him a little to Jordan Love today when he was asked, what's another quarterback you face that has some similarities. And obviously Jordan Love struggled until the fourth quarter when he got hot for a little while and put 4 drives together. And Stroud definitely has that ability. Now, the one thing the Saints do against everybody, but is especially effective against rookies and inexperienced guys, is, Dennis Allen is a master of disguise. You don't know what you're looking at. He doesn't have a lot of tells. His safeties are so interchangeable. That'll help with Marcus May coming back this week too. That it's not easy for a rookie to see the picture with the Saints defense, and so that always helps. I think the other thing that they're going to have to do is take his run game away from him. If Dameon Pierce can't get off to any success running the ball, and they have to put it on C.J. Stroud and put him to the test, I have to imagine this is going to be the toughest defense he's faced yet. So we'll see, but yeah, you don't automatically think he's going to make rookie mistakes. And of all the numbers that he's posting and yardage totals, the most impressive is 0 interceptions, which is not a number you expect to see from a rookie.
Not 5 games into the year. You're absolutely right. Yeah. You also mentioned Marcus May. Let's go there. We got to see Jordan Howden start a couple of games. One with a hand wrap after the finger surgery. But how does May sort of reassimilate into this defense, and how does that work? How does that look?
Yeah, I mean, I think May goes right back to I think Matthew and May back there they were a little bit more of a work in progress last year than I think we expected, but it took them a while to learn the defense, learn each other. May had missed a lot of time with injury. They'd kind of found their stride late last season, and I thought all off season in week 1, week 2, it looked like we were really seeing the fruits of their experience, and I expected to go right back to that. Jordan Howden is a promising talent. I think we'll see him in dime packages, so he'll still be on the field quite a bit. But Matthew and May are the starters, and I think they're really good ones.
Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football, on Twitter at Mike Triplett. Make sure you give him a follow. Our conversation's brought to you by Benny's Car Wash, bennyscarwash.com. Okay, Mike, big picture. For the Saints at 3-2, how important is a win in this game when you start to look at what's ahead, right? Short week, Thursday Night Football, road trip to Indy, all that sort of. How important is it for the Saints to get this one this weekend?
I mean, in theory, it's not a must-win in the grand scheme of things because it's an AFC opponent and it's on the road. They're going to have to take care of business against the NFC South opponents to come, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I mean, this team wants to be better in 3-2, and if they fall back to 3-3, then it just feels like they're scratching and clawing. I think they'd like to create a little breathing room at some point. They haven't had breathing room in years around here. Yeah. And I think they want to know that it's not going to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back over and over again. I mean, we talked about this on the show that this game we just saw against New England was incredibly impressive, but we saw a few of those scattered last year. We saw them beat the Raiders 24-0. We saw them kill the Rams. We saw them kill the Seahawks. They never strung it together last year, and so they need to prove they can do that.
Great stuff as always. On Twitter at Mike Triplett and NewOrleans.football. Be sure you're subscribed up there to get all your Saints info, NewOrleans.football. Mike, we appreciate it, man. Thanks as always.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Be well. Mike's chats are brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. You can always get to the website, bennyscarwash.com. If you join today, you'll wash free for the rest of 2023. So go to the website, bennyscarwash.com. Get to that Benny's Car Wash location nearest you to learn more or to sign up. Could not recommend it highly enough. Joined the Wash Club membership last year when they started sponsoring the segment with Mike, and it's phenomenal. If you wash twice a month, it pays for itself. So, I wash at least once a week. It's awesome to be able to roll through a Benny's at any point. Benny'sCarWash.com, Benny'sCarWash.com. Okay, it's after further review. We're going to knock out a quick break, come back. We'll give you a thumbnail preview of Thursday Night Football with Sean Payton, the Denver Broncos, on the road in Kansas City. The Swifties out in full force tonight with the Broncos and the Chiefs. Otter will be along in about 15 minutes to give you a pick on Thursday Night Football. We do Otter Locks. A ton still to do. Glad you're with us rolling home here on this Thursday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Got a home game for LSU this weekend. Saints are on the road. You want to be doing that tailgate out at Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium this weekend. Rouse's can help. Whatever you need. Maybe you want party platters. You want to let someone else handle the cooking. Fine. You get all your party platters, your tailgate trays, you can get them at Rouse's. They got some already ready-made, or you can call ahead and get whatever items on those trays that you want. Just get it at any of the Rouse's locations. Look, if you're going out to campus on Saturday, Rouse's right there on Burbank. Pull up the Rouse's app. They got the curbside pickup option. Select all your items, your chips, your dips, your drinks, everything. Your personal shopper will go pick it out for you, bring it out to the car whenever you pull up. Remember, if you spend $35, which is pretty easy to do, especially for a tailgate, there's no charge to use that service. And if you spend more than $100, use the code SAINTS20. That's SAINTS20. They'll knock $20 off your bill. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, helping you make groceries for more than 60 years. Rouse's, this feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Hey, remember tomorrow, Football Friday, we will announce our winner for the AFR Watch Party. 1 week from today, Saints, Jags from the Dome. We'll be watching our lucky winner with 15 guests, open bar, catered food. Mockler's going to take care of transportation as well to make sure you arrive and get home safely. It's the AFR Watch Party, courtesy of friends of Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. We're fired up for it. Our buddy Christian Lockature is going to be there. Of course, former Tiger great, former number 18, now works with Mockler. Muse is coming. Paulie's a 50-50 coin flip. If we're being honest, it's probably like 90-10. He's not coming, but he could. You never know. Might show up, might pop in. We'll see. But I'm excited about it. Make sure if you want to enter, it's your last day to enter. We're announcing the winner tomorrow on AFR. Text the hashtag AFR Watch Party. That's AFR Watch Party to 225-396-4400, 225-396-4400. Oh, also, big shout out. I hope he's still listening. I got this email from Robert Fradella, who said, hey, Matt, I was born and raised in New Orleans. I find myself in Colfax, Louisiana. Thank you for being on 94.7 ESPN. Made my day and then some. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. Of course, we appreciate Truck Gisclair and our friends down at KLRZ at 100.3 ESPN New Orleans. We've been a part of the lineup there since 2016, and we're thrilled for that partnership and to be booming into the Crescent City every single day. And for Robert and everybody who listens on 100.3 ESPN New Orleans. But man, big shout out to our friends at Senla Broadcasting there. Alexandria's 94.7 ESPN. We're pumped to be there in Senla every single day. So thanks to everybody who listens wherever you may listen or watch on WBTR or on our YouTube channel. Our friends at Delta Media, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles. Tell a friend, man. You're anywhere on the I-10 corridor across the width of Louisiana, you can hear AFR. 100.3 New Orleans, 104.5, 104.9 Baton Rouge, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, and 104.1 Lake Charles. We were pumped and we were grateful for all those blessings, so thank you for being here with us every single day. All right, Otter's coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll get a pick on Thursday Night Football. It is the Denver Broncos on the road in Kansas City against the Chiefs. Sean Payton, boy, he has had a lot of duels with Andy Reid over the years and kind of previewed this one, which will be the latest installment.
We've done it a long time. Certainly Andy's done it a long time. I had just gotten to the Giants when he was named head coach of the Eagles. And so, for years we were in the same division, and then in Dallas, then even in New Orleans, we played a handful of times, playoff games. He's done a great job. I would consider him a good friend and certainly a guy you study. He's a mentor to so many of us. His consistency and, in a league that's hard to have that kind of staying power. He's someone that you're always looking at and studying the film on, and he's been fantastic and is in the middle of a fantastic career.
And for whatever it's worth, Andy Reid is trying to say the right things with a 1-4 Broncos team coming into Kansas City to take on the 4-1 Chiefs.
They've had some change there, so this is a whole new crew, and they've, like I said, they've been close. Most of them have been very close games, and so we've. You've just got to throw the record aside and you go play. And that's kind of the way this, the AFC West is. It's, we all battle each other.
Of course, it is a division game. Oddly, I actually got to see this game in Denver in 2002. Super weird. My dad's birthday is December the 15th. I was at LSU at the time, just happened to have, I think we might have been at the end of the semester, and he was going to Denver, so I just tagged along, and we caught a game at Mile High. And it was the Broncos and the Chiefs. It was Clinton Portis and Priest Holmes were the two running backs at the time. Portis was with the Broncos. Holmes was with the Kansas City Chiefs. It was an incredible football game. The Chiefs won that day on the road against Denver. But in some respects, it's true. I mean, those divisional matchups, man. When you're so familiar with a team and you know a team so well, I don't want to say you throw out the records, but sometimes do that. Like, I look at that 10.5 point spread and I go, man, in a divisional game, for Denver, albeit on the road, but to be getting 10.5 points, especially with their pride dinged the way it was, losing to Miami, come back and finally not win, but then lose the way they did at home against the Jets in that spot has to be tough. But look, Patrick Mahomes kind of saying the same thing, man, about this being a rivalry game in the division.
When you play a team like the Broncos, same with any division opponent, there's just another level of intensity. So I'm not worried about necessarily a streak or anything like that. I'm worried about winning against a division opponent. And I know just as much as I think everyone in this locker room knows that it doesn't matter what the records are. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a hard-fought battle. Both teams are going to give everything they have. And so that's just the history of the matchup. And so that's the thing with me. It's not about the streak. It's about going out there and find a way to win against a division opponent in a tough-fought battle.
The streak that Mahomes is referring to there is 15. The Kansas City Chiefs have won 15 consecutive games against the Denver Broncos. You'd have to go back to when Peyton Manning was quarterbacking Denver in 2015 was the last time that Denver beat Kansas City. So, look, we know since Manning retired, Denver has just had a revolving door at quarterback. They haven't found stability there. They haven't made the playoffs, let alone a winning season. So they're trying to get it right with Sean Payton here and Russell Wilson. Not off to a great start, but 15 in a row is a big yo. So we'll see if Denver can maybe turn that around tonight. One more. This was the latest update from Andy Reid on Travis Kelce, who had turned his ankle last week and returned to the game. But here was the final update from Andy Reid on Kelce.
Yeah, he's done well. He's got quite a little bit of treatment on it, and so he's feeling a little bit better, which is good. Yeah.
On that subject, are you tempted, since it's a short turnaround, do you treat it a little bit different and more precaution with him?
I'm gonna just see the how he moves around, how he feels. He's been he's always been honest with me on things like that. So we'll just see how he does. But he's doing okay out there today. So we'll see where it goes from.
For whatever it's worth, just a bit ago, Adam Schefter tweeted that Travis Kelce is expected to play tonight against the Broncos with a sprained ankle heavily taped. That's according to Schefter's sources. And there is a video circling on Twitter right now, or X, with Kelce walking into the locker room there to go get dressed and get ready to play tonight on Thursday Night Football. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Love telling you every single day about Brandon Holly and my friends over at Relief Windows. Brandon and Adrian have built such an awesome business, and they've done so on some core values, which is, of course, it's a great product. It's every window is made to measure. They measure twice, install once. It's custom windows, doors, and siding for your home specifically. This isn't something that's coming from a manufacturer, a one-size-fits-all type thing. Because they measure twice and install once, those windows are going to fit the exact specification of your home, which means you're going to reduce those gaps and costly air leaks. It's Relief Windows. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding, indoor shutters, but always customer service, which is the thing above all that sets Relief Windows apart, has and will always continue to set Relief Windows apart. I'm so confident every day telling you about Relief Windows because I know that if you call Relief Windows, you're going to have a great experience. It's just what Brandon Holly demands of everyone in that business. He's told me so many times, as a business owner, you've got to be willing to spend your last dollar to make your customer happy. And when that's the mindset of the founder, CEO of the company, that permeates everything in the business. So it's not just about windows. It's about that experience, that customer service experience. That's Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all, been a great show. We're so glad to have you aboard with us here. Darin Tietgen was here in hour one for our Fantasy Blitz. We went to Auburn, visited with Justin Hokanson, who covers Auburn Live, part of the On3 network. Got a little thumbnail preview of how it's going there on the Plains. RC was with us earlier this hour, as was Mike Triplett. Remember, if you miss anything, catch it on demand. AFR on demand. Catch the After Further Review YouTube channels or your favorite podcast app. Just search After Further Review on your favorite podcast app. You'll get the entire show podcast there, hour by hour. So we appreciate everyone who finds a way to watch or listen every single day. And, of course, we appreciate Breck Golf for being our on-demand sponsor for so many years. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. All right, final break of the show, y'all. We'll come back. We'll do some auto locks, find out who Jimmy has on Thursday Night Football. You got a couple of college games tonight. You got Major League Baseball, a full slate, a smorgasbord there from which to choose for your betting pleasure. We'll see what the Otter likes. We'll do Otter Locks when we come back next here on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two great hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Same ownership group, the Watermark and the Renaissance. Oh, there is a great event coming up at the Watermark I want to tell you about. But remember, the Gregory there at the Watermark is an absolutely fantastic dining experience. They have an indoor charcoal oven. So when you walk into the lobby of the Gregory, you'll actually get those charcoal scents wafting through the lobby. It's amazing. So the Gregory's having a tequila dinner on Thursday, October the 19th. So it's a week from today. It's 5 courses and pairings. So a 5-course meal with the tequila pairings. It's $150 per person. You can find out more info at thegregorybr.com. That's thegregorybr.com. If you're looking for something fun to do next Thursday night, try the tequila dinner at the Gregory.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
We have truckloads of inventory rolling in at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. And you can take advantage of 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and always online at theantiagingclinics.com. Okay, one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Not great after last night. I apologize about that.
Hey, man.
I got one thing right.
It happens.
One thing right. Lance Lynn gives up home runs. Okay, got that. 4 home runs in 1 inning. 4 home runs in 1 inning. And you only get 4 runs?
Yeah.
And you only get 4 runs for the game?
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to do. So.
Well, Otter, it just means tonight with an NFL game, couple of college football games, more MLB, and tons of profit boosts at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It's time to get it all back, so let's go.
Make no mistake. We got 60 minutes, okay? So we're far away from not even a halftime yet in this long stretch of things. First of all, Colucci, big chalk, but he gave out the devil. I would not lay the 250, Matt. I hate to say this, but either puck line or tied into a parlay if you want, or you can split up your bet, whatever you want to do. But keep in mind, they pull a goalie. 2 minutes to go, empty net could easily take a one puck score too. So there we go there.
Okay.
I'm going with a little chalk tonight. I'm West Virginia. Neil Brown kind of not on the hot seat, but lucky to be still coaching in Morgantown. They only have 1 loss, and that was to Penn State. And that scumbag, James Franklin had to run it in when he could have taken a knee. Mario And anyway, so going with the Mountaineers. They're a better team. This is one of Houston's weaker teams that I've seen in a long time. I hate that it went from 2.5 to 3, but I got to take West Virginia there.
Okay.
Same thing on the other game in college football on the road, but SMU's just head and shoulders above East Carolina, laying the points. I know it's public side, and I'm taking that as well. I cannot take this trash bag Denver team tonight, okay? Their defense, I know you give up 70, but their defense is really bad. The Jets put up 30 on you, you're bad. Not 23, scoop and score at the end, but they moved the ball a lot on them. But it's also a little bit of a look-ahead spot. The Chargers, the only competition for the Chiefs in the AFC West. Kelsey comes in a little banged up. Divisional game. I can't take Denver. I can't lay double digits divisional game, but I will take the under. I'm thinking that it's going to be a little bit more low scoring. So take the under. I really do like the under tonight in Arrowhead.
All right. I'm looking at 47.5.
Yeah.
Is the total. All right. So under 47.5 is what the Otter's going with right now. So Colucci on the money line at minus 250 with the Devils. Otter likes West Virginia laying 3. SMU laying the 11.5. Big number, but likes the Ponies. And then on Thursday Night Football, under 47.5 with the Broncos and the Chiefs. Football Friday.
I'm sorry. And I know the pitch matchup from Atlanta, but I got to take Philadelphia at home in that atmosphere, plus 25 or 30. I'll go with the Phillies this night as well. So we're not quitting. No, we can't. They're not going to stop us. They can't hold us down, Matthew. We've got to keep on plugging away.
You're going with the Phillies? Do I really want to get on board with another MLB? That's Otter. I'm sitting. My finger is hovering over the button. I'm just trying to decide: do I want to submit this bet?
Here's a lot of conversation about the format, but the top 4 seeds who head a bye. They are. It's 4 and 9. The 5 best records in Major League Baseball for the season are 1 and 12, and the one win was that miraculous win in Game 2 by the Braves. So there's something to the rest versus rust. If you can survive that wild card round, it has been an advantage for the team coming out of that round. Philly fits that bill. Hey man, that's a place to beat them. Strider can be tough, but he hit hard as well. So I'm going with the Phillies.
Live at lunch, Rufino's for Lock of the Week Friday tomorrow. Yep. Eric is sitting at home going, why does he do that? Why does he do that?
She loves it. She loves it. texting me, so I just got to tell Matt that. So, but I love that line.
All right, Otter. Thank you. We appreciate it as always.
See you.
All right, be well. Full slate. I told you there was a ton on. Look, there is a ton on the docket tonight. It is a great night of sports. I mean, y'all. That's why I love the month of October. It is the best sports month on the calendar. The month of October is phenomenal. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can play that. Devils minus 250. What you gonna do, Muse? You gonna lay off?
Nah, I'm laying off that. I'm not laying 250.
All right. So Colucci laying the 250. Otter said, lay the puck line. I'm not doing the puck line there if Colucci didn't love it. West Virginia laying the 3. SMU laying 11.5. Under 47.5 on Thursday Night Football. And Muse, just because I'm an absolute glutton for punishment and begging DraftKings to take all of my money back. Yes, I will ride with the Otter tonight with the Phillies on the money line.
I like that play too, though.
Paulie hates it. All right, we're getting out of here. Have a great night, y'all. Thanks for being part of the show. Muse, Paulie, we'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made. Make sure you get to the website to learn more about all that they offer over at TractionSports.com. Remember, if your son or daughter wants to be the very best they can be in whatever sport that is, maybe you're a JV player that wants to be a starter on the varsity. Maybe the goal is to play college sports. Maybe, look, I mean, there's this summer I remember going and working out with Tevin so many times, and there's young tennis prodigies doing their workouts right there, dry land workouts for swimmers, the entire St. Joe's soccer team, the entire Parkview Baptist softball team, all working out there at Traction, a world-class facility where professional athletes in sports, many different sports all over the country come to train, where your son or daughter can get world-class training. It's right there on Burbank and Baton Rouge. It's Traction, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made.